All right, welcome back, True Seeker. Again, it's TFR with the audio problems. We have absolutely no sound tonight. If you are listening on the TFR website, it's going to be like last week because I have no audio. I'm just going to go through the commercial breaks. The downside of that is for the people on the radio network, you're going to miss chunks where we're on the commercial breaks. If you want to make sure you miss no part of the show, join us on YouTube. We do live stream every week the TFR broadcast on GematriaEffectNews 25. That's the YouTube channel, GematriaEffectNews 25, space between each part. Again, it's not that we like the number 25, it's that we've been deleted that many times. And again, apologies to all the people who that's an inconvenience. It's just until TFR gets back up and running the way it's supposed to, where we can actually hear the audio and the music and the commercial breaks. I'm going to continue to do it this way. It's too hard to track where the breaks are without any kind of audio cues. And again, wherever you are in the world, Chris Geo, I hope you and your wife are doing just fine. And I really am just so waiting for the day for things to get tuned back up around here. And that said, it's created the itch in me, something I've been meaning. Okay. A few years back, Chris asked if I would do more shows on TFR. And it was something I wanted to do. But if you follow me on my YouTube channel, I mean, I'm like grinding 24/7, 365. I didn't feel that I could really fit it in the schedule the way I was operating. And anyhow, and what I would like to do, though, is just figure out how to make more of my schedule radio podcast friendly. And I would not mind doing it on TFR if the network could be fixed, if Chris Geo is going to return and this radio station is going to remain. But that said, until we do hear back from Chris Geo, I like I just said, I do want to create more of a podcast radio program, and I've been putting this off for a long time. And I think I really do like the ring of the radio program, Wake the F Up Radio. And maybe we can just say it with the F, but you know what it means, Wake the F Up Radio. And again, I feel like it's what everyone should be screaming from the rafters right now, that humanity needs to wake the F up. I mean, all these people who think they're awake, they're watching Fox News where they make fun of woke and promote Donald Trump. It's like, you're not awake if you're supporting Donald Trump. There's way too many people who think they're awake that are sound asleep. They need to be woken up. Again, to think that Donald Trump is going to save us, and again, America needs to prepare. He is more than likely going to be the next rigged candidate. And when he comes back, maybe some things will improve. But just like when he was president, things were not good. Maybe your income was a little better. Maybe, groceries weren't expensive. Again, with all these administrations, some things are better, some things are worse. Imagine if Trump was the president right now, how much he'd be gloating about the market. He'd be saying things have never been better. But again, we know that Donald Trump is not going to make things better. We know that he's not on our side. What is the most important thing as a U.S. citizen? What is it that makes America America? It is the First Amendment. And it was trampled more than it ever had been in the time of the Trump administration. And he spearheaded that when he took office. He said he'd like to be a dictator and censor all of his critics. On the tube, I might have been, he has way bigger celebrity critics, but there probably wasn't anyone on YouTube putting out more hard-hitting information showing what a puppet Donald Trump was from 2015 through him becoming president, when my channel got 86th on Elon Musk's birthday, June 28, 2017. And these are the two supposed white hats when they're both puppets on the world stage. Anyhow, Donald Trump, he didn't really do anything to speak up for the undermining of the First Amendment that went on all over social media and the internet, which does matter. It is the public square of the modern era. It's the place where we need free speech more than any other place, because it's where people are actually speaking. Donald Trump did absolutely zero to stop the tyranny that took place during his administration. And beyond that, I'd say the next worst thing, and you could argue it was the worst thing, he allowed the policies of Switzerland to overtake America with the lockdowns and the mandates and he just marched along to it and called himself the father of the jab. There's never been a less American moment in any of our lifetimes than what took place in 2020 and the years after with the supposed pandemic. I mean, that was not America, and Donald Trump championed almost all of it. He also did try to play both sides of it, but he didn't do anything as the leader to stop any of that agenda. And again, he marched along with a lot of it. By the numbers, mind you. And we know who's running this show. It's the Jesuits, and he's very much a part of it. And all along the way, he's been having his family members kick the bucket in the same way Joe Biden's having Jesuit rituals. These guys are two wings of the same bird. And so many people think he's going to come back and make things better. Again, there might be some things that get better because that's how they keep people believing in the two political parties. You know, people want to open their eyes here and close their eyes here. These parties sold us out a long time ago. They've both been marching the people of this nation down a very dangerous path where for decades we've watched quality of life decline. Period. Quality of life decline in so many different ways. Okay. Post World War II America to now, just measure it. You know, post World War II America, the family was still intact, pretty much in all communities. Almost everything was affordable through one working adult in the household. Look at where we are now. Okay. Both parties marched us to where we are. And anyhow, what I was envisioning for this work that we've been doing here by the time 2024 rolled around, 2-3 years ago, this work was picking up steam. It was growing. More people were coming in. More support was coming in. I was thinking that by the time we reached 2024, because I've been, always election years are so crucial for waking people up and get people to see what's really going on. I was thinking we would have, an army of GematriaEffectNews people. I was thinking we'd be gathering city to city. We'd be following Donald Trump around. We'd be in all the key locations as the primaries unfold. And we'd be getting out the word about what's going on, like how we have done in the past, like how we've been in Oklahoma City for the April 19th anniversary, in New York for the 9/11 anniversary, in Seattle as they're declaring the pandemic, in Buffalo after the top shooting. I mean, we've demonstrated what we can do on anniversary dates and after big events go down to be in a city and really engage a populace. The thing is, it takes resources to travel. It takes resources to provide handouts, clothes, flyers. It takes support. And the problem is, from 2 years ago to now, my support is exactly half of what it is. And I think some of that is big tech shenanigans. And I think another half is people are hurting, which is understandable. Everything has become so expensive in the last 2 or 3 years. But again, all I've ever asked is that people pledge $1 a month. That's $12 a year. And I thought we'd keep growing. We used to have 6,500 supporters 3 years ago. Now we have about 3,500 supporters. And, it's a lot less. It's a lot less. I was thinking that we'd just keep growing. I was thinking by now we'd probably have at least 10,000 people supporting. Instead, we have a fraction of that. And again, I sympathize with everybody who doesn't have $1 a month. That could be you. But if you're telling yourself you don't have $1 a month for this mission and what we've proven we can do, I'd really like to look at your budget and see what you're spending your money on. Do you have Netflix? Do you have Hulu? Do you have Disney Plus? Do you pay for cable? What kind of cell phone plan are you on? There's not $1 you can budget somewhere in there? How many times a month are you eating out at fast food? You'd be making your meals at home, saving a fortune. So, I do hear from a lot of people that say, Zach, I'd like to support, but I don't have $5 a month. Very possible. But at the same time, I'm like, I still see people just, bumper to bumper in the drive-thrus every time I drive down the street. I'm just like, God, how is America still wasting their money on fast food? It's unhealthy, and now it's not even cheap. It's expensive. Sweet lady wanted to go to Burger King the other week. I could not believe it. She wanted to try out a Whopper. Somebody brought Burger King fries to her at work, and she liked them. She wanted to go there. She's like, I want to see what a Whopper is. Now, when I was a kid, I remember what a Whopper was. It was 99 cents, and it was this big-ass burger, and it really was flame grilled. They used to go through that machine. You could just see it right behind the counter. But I couldn't believe it. Like, a Whopper was $5, and then it was so small. I was like, what the hell happened? It's $5 now, and it's tiny? It's like literally, I don't even think it's half the size of what it was in the 90s. And again, it's just like, how can people, I mean, how can they still be going to fast food? All these places should be out of business. It's because people are lazy. They don't want to cook, even though it's really not that much effort. Chop up some vegetables, throw some oil down on the pan. You like a meat, chop up a protein, a little stir fries, saute, boil some noodles. I mean, you can have a nice meal in minutes, really. Probably less time than it takes to drive to the fast food and sit in line and waste gas. Anyway, I am intending to start this radio program. To jump to another thought, I really want to get this radio program podcast going. I would have loved to have done it on TFR, but again, Chris Geo is missing in action. And anyhow, I've been looking into platforms where you can do a podcast radio type show. Shout out to gentlemen in the community who recommended Blog Talk Radio. It looks like a solid platform. They give you a small trial period, so I'm going to try it out in the days ahead. And if it works as advertised, I will subscribe to the annual membership, which is about $500. I think it's $480. And it's supposed to give you a call board so that people can call into, and a nice clear audio signal. And what I'd like to start doing is a daily podcast, Monday through Friday, call-in show. Now, my one apprehension about having callers is, again, you guys see how it typically goes. When I do a call-in show, which is usually on TFR, and I set a topic, how does it usually go? How many callers does it usually take before we get a single person that calls in on topic? It's really unbelievable. I mean, other people do call-in shows, and I watch other people that they do a show, and their callers actually call in on topic. And I'm just like, what's wrong with my callers? Why are they always calling in about all these random things that have nothing to do with nothing? So again, I do want to get a radio show going, at least an hour-long podcast each day. And I would like people to be able to call in and contribute. I know other people want to get their voice and message out. And if we're doing a diversity of topics, there should be plenty of days where people are like, okay, I have something to say that pertains to that topic. But again, I know it is asking a lot from this community too, because for years, this community has demonstrated that they cannot call in on topic. And part of the reason I think that is because I know that a lot of the people that hang around here are nothing but trolls and agents. They pretend to be like they're part of the community, but they're not. They're trolls and they're agents. It's just like if you go on my Patreon, the trolls own my Patreon. They're on there running every new subscriber away every single day. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because again, if you're on Patreon, you block a troll, they get an instant refund, and then they sign up 5 seconds later. So anyhow, one way or another, I do want to get a podcast going, and I do want to find trusted callers, maybe just even routine, dedicated callers who are good callers, good contributors. Like in recent weeks, a gentleman stepped up in the community who's applying the knowledge to the market and really making really great finds and making some very decent coin. And that's what I've always said about this knowledge. You put this knowledge in the right people's hands, there's so many things that can be done with it. This is the knowledge that shows the way the market's rigged, the way the elections are rigged, the way the sports games are rigged, the way the news cycle is rigged. This knowledge is so important, and so few people still know about it, despite a nonstop grind of over a decade by yours truly and the people who've come along the way and learned and are also promoting the work. So anyhow, I'm already putting up $1,000 a month to run the Free to Find Truth website. And if you guys would like to see additional grind and you'd like to see this podcast happen, it's going to happen either way, but will help me, expedite the process and really get motivated, is to see tonight some donations. For about the last 8 weeks, we've averaged about $20 in donations over a 3-hour period for the TFR broadcast. That's about $7 an hour in donations. Thank you to those people. Again, compared to a lot lesser podcasts where people get on here and talk about everything like I don't know, like just go along with mainstream narratives and legitimize all the BS, you know, compared to other people on YouTube who's, again, people, this is the thing that drives me nuts. It's like, if you appeal to the mainstream, like the brain dead morons, that's where the revenue is, that's where the wealth is, that's where the donors are. And I'm not ever going to do that because that's also called selling out. And I don't have any interest in selling out just to earn revenue. What I want is people to support a valuable message, knowledge that can wake the world up, change the world, improve people's position. That's why I come here every day and present this. But it does get annoying when, you know, something pops up in your feed. It's got 10,000 views. You turn on and it's some Trump diehard. He's talking about how Trump's going to come back and mega, and you know he's got like $5,000 in super chats rolling in the 20 minutes you're watching, and you're just like, how's this even possible? Like, God, I see why people sell out. But yeah, again, if we can, let's say, raise $480 tonight, and up on the screen on YouTube, I have the ways to donate. $480 would cover the cost of the radio program for the year. I'll get this radio show up as soon as tomorrow. If $20 comes in, I'll still get the radio show up, but I might drag my feet a little bit because I'm already doing enough each day. So again, on the screen, the ways to donate: Cash App, $Gematria-Effect News, Venmo, at Zachary Hubbard-9. That's the Venmo. Zelle, GematriaEffectNews at gmail.com. PayPal, ZachHubbard83 at gmail.com. If we can hit 480 tonight, and even if we do it on YouTube, because YouTube takes 30%, I'll cover the other 30%. We'll get this podcast going as soon as tomorrow, and I just have to figure out the dedicated time to doing it. We can talk about that. Should it be a bright and early start of the day, top of the hour podcast, or is it better? Again, the one problem with my life that has changed, and I don't plan on changing. Back in the day, I used to just grind all around the clock and put out content all day. You've noticed the last 2 years, I seldomly post at night. It's because sweet lady, you know, she asked me a while back, she said, Zach, you hardly spend any time with me. And it was true when she said that. So we try to spend our nights together. And the one night of the week that you know, I've kind of been breaking the promise is to do TFR. And the reason I continue to do TFR is because I'll always be grateful to Chris Geo. When Chris Geo offered me a spot on the show on the TFR platform back in 2016, it really made me feel good about doing what I'd been doing in the years before that. I felt like somebody finally acknowledged all the hard work and effort. And, you know, it felt great. So I'll always be grateful to Chris Geo for that. And that's why it pains me also to see that TFR is like falling apart right now and Chris Geo's missing in action. It really makes me wonder what's going on. So yeah, if we can't get the daily podcast going on TFR, we'll just make it happen ourselves. And I think it is going to be called the Wake the F Up Radio. And shout out to Jeremy White. Jeremy White showed me how you can do a podcast and have it syndicated to essentially every podcast platform. I really should have done this a long time ago, because maybe this is the way we're going to reach more people. I've been pretty stubborn about sticking on YouTube, because even though YouTube's not even a 50th as good as what it was 4 or 5 years ago, it's still seemingly better than all the other live streaming platforms. And yeah, maybe just the whole problem is that we really need to get just more in the audio sphere, the broadcast sphere, especially as I get older and more wrinkled and my face looks like it's more appropriate for radio. So again, I already see some super chats coming in tonight. Thank you very much. And also, something I would like to do with the radio show, I would like to promote other people, just like how we've done in the past, but just other people who aren't getting nearly enough recognition for their work and contribution. You know, people like RPM Trey. Shout out to RPM Trey. I got his shirt on tonight. If you guys do not know RPM Trey Vietnam, I think he has one of the best campaigns going to undermine the agenda against the Second Amendment with his Hug an AR-15 owner campaign. Again, he gets out on the street, open carry with a Hug an AR owner sign. He sets up his podcast and he talks about the issues of the time and why it's so important at this day and age to own a firearm for self-protection, but also from self-protection against tyranny. And again, he's demonstrating that, the media is trying to paint the picture that gun owners are I don't know, dangerous people, bad people, people out of touch with the times. RPM Trey shows that that's absolutely not the case. So again, if you're not familiar with RPM Trey, RPM stands for resist political manipulation, which I also love because that's also what we're trying to do over here. I just didn't have such a good acronym for it. So many people are under political manipulation, like all these Donald Trump fanatics, And the thing about the Donald Trump fanatics is they're a lot more awake than, say, the liberal camp. The liberal camp's like literally marching along to every agenda, giving up the First Amendment, giving up the Second Amendment, giving up our genitals, just like serving every agenda without even recognizing it. Just they want us all to be on the slave ship where we have no way out faster than any other political party right now. The Donald Trump people, again, they see a lot of things that are wrong, but then they somehow don't see how Donald Trump is, almost just as bad. And again, that's the problem, this whole lesser of two evils thing. Voting for the lesser of two evils has never been acceptable. And again, as long as people continue to do that, it will continue to be a society on the decline. Another person I'd like to support. He just came on my radar as soon as this past Super Bowl. He called in to the Super Bowl stream we were doing, exposing yet again just how rigged the big game was. By the way, sorry people in Texas, that fire that started right near the Red Raiders campus where Mahomes went to school. That's no accident. It's no accident that the fire started 15 days after the Super Bowl when Mahomes wears number 15 and Texas equals 15 in Gematria. This is the same kind of stuff we've been documenting year after year. If people don't know, Patrick Mahomes is from Texas. And by the way, it's perfectly synced with the governor. It's perfectly synced with the Pope. It's perfectly synced with the man from Texas who just set himself on fire at the Israeli embassy. Again, Aaron Bushnell sets himself on fire over the genocide in Gaza on the 142nd day of the war, when in Gematria, Aaron Bushnell equals 142, like Palestine equals 142. Bushnell, like burning bush in the Bible, like in Exodus 3, 2 through 5. 3, 2 through 5 happened on the 25th. The man was 25 years old, and Gematria fire equals 25. But Aaron is the brother of Moses from Exodus as well. Anyway, sorry if I'm jumping around too much. This knowledge, you guys, again, it laser vision through everything. And if it's too much for people to grasp right now, it won't be if enough people are talking about it in their neck of the woods all the time. Maybe the first time you hear about it, you can't accept that a Super Bowl was connected to a fire being set in Texas for an ongoing climate change agenda. I can understand why the first time you don't get it. But when you watch it happen year after year and how they continue to sync up these sports rituals with climate disasters and mass shootings like they did at the Chiefs parade, so that immediately Joe Biden can come out and call for gun control, then you'll eventually start to get it, and the clues have been there all along. Just like Katrina happens to New Orleans and then they win their first Super Bowl. Archie Manning's team defeats Archie Manning's son Peyton as he's just lofting intentional interceptions into the secondary. Anyway, coming back to people I'd like to support. RPM Trey Vietnam. Let me get his channel up here. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not familiar with RPM Trey, again, he deserves way more attention than he's getting. And let me see if I can remember how to make. There we go. Bigger. RPM Trey Vietnam's channel doesn't get nearly the support he deserves. Super important mission. If he had more support, he could be doing his thing 24/7, 365. And that's what we need right now. We need people like RPM Trey Vietnam who have the courage to get out there and preach a message and do something almost no one else is willing to. We need them to have the resources to do it all the time, full time. RPM Trey has a day job. He supports himself. He does well. He says he likes his job, but he'd rather be doing his thing all the time. The world would be better served if RPM Trey could do his thing 24/7, 365. This gentleman, again, the musician in our community who just came in, we played his song last week on TFR. We played his song the day of the Super Bowl. Very talented man. And now that I'm aware of his page, I've been feeling bad. You know, he's having all kinds of financial problems like so many people are. And he did feel about how I hurt his feelings with my rants against flat earthers, which made me feel a little bit bad. But again, I still really don't like the flat earth movement. Again, it is a psyop. It was meant to make the truth community look dumb and divide us. And again, I will play into that division because I really do not want to. Okay, like I'll make the exception for low key T for president because clearly he's a flat earther. The reason I'll make an exception for him is because he has a talent and he sees everything else with crystal clear vision, and his talent does have the ability to wake up people. A lot of people need that entertainment angle with the message. He's really good at packaging, you know, a great message into a song. That's powerful. What's sad is somehow he's not getting any recognition. And I shouldn't say somehow. I know why he's not getting any recognition. It's because of what his message is. You know, if he was making rap songs about just like all the other commercial trash, I'm sure he'd have 100 times the following. If he was rapping about selling drugs and killing people and big booty woman, and that's all it was, you know, he'd probably have 1.27 million subscribers. He's got the talent. It's just that his message is righteous. And that's where we live now. We live in this system where the AI listens and they're like, oh, we don't like this. We don't like what he's saying. No, we're not. No. That has to stay buried. That's why it's so important at this day and age for the people who are awake, when you recognize the people who have the true message, the important work, you have to help them get it out. And if you can't donate $1, then you got to do what else you can share. Whatever is in your power to help get out that message and that work. Sharing it on your own social media feed. Sharing the work in your own video that you put out. You know? It's just, there's so many people who have so many excuses for why they just watch. I get email. People write me emails explaining why they just watch. It's like, I don't want to read this email. I'm sorry. This is wasting my time. I don't want to take time. Like, literally, you can't write to any of the people you know in your world about. Again, you guys, you got to stop with the excuses. If you can't handle the ridicule, grow thicker skin. You know, being able to overcome that ridicule hurdle is so important to improving yourself as a person and getting yourself to where the world needs you to be so that a difference can be made. Okay? So anyway, low key T for president. Sorry for hurting your feelings with the flat earth rants, but seriously, listen to also what I'm saying about flat earth. It's literally impossible. And please don't be the next flat earth person to be like, you haven't done enough research. No, I've done more research than you. That's why I know the earth isn't flat. Okay? You haven't done enough research. It's why you're still under the mind control of the psyop. I don't want to go down that route tonight, though. Maybe when we got the radio station, Wake the F Up Radio, there'll be a broadcast about how obvious of a psyop flat earth is, and maybe at least it'll pull 5 of them out of their religion. And that's the problem with flat earth is just a religion, and it's really hard to pull people out of religion. But again, I mean, there's literally no facts, there's no evidence, there's nothing to support a flat earth. Literally zero about it makes sense. Flat earthers are just, I don't want to go down it. I don't want to go down the road, but I did see the video that low-key got his feelings hurt. He was having a bad day, and then he saw me ranting about flat earth. It made his day even worse, but he's not mad at me over it. He's just saying, like, I wish that we didn't just fight over the things we disagree on. You have to understand, flat earth is a psyop. That flat earth psyop, a bunch of felons lead that community, and those same felons, including ODD, the rapist, Richie from Boston, all these trolls, all worked very hard to tarnish my name and image because I was exposing the psyop that they were a part of. So flat earth is just like such bad blood with me. I know how trash the leaders of that community are. I know how unauthentic they are. They're only in it for money and ratings. And that flat earth did bring that to a lot of people. And again, the whole thing just makes me sick. But for a guy like low key T for president who has some skills, I'll give him a pass on that. And I'd still like to help see him get to a better place too, because his music, you know, like what I'd like to do, honestly, once I got this radio show is, you know, play his songs all the time. You know, if somebody out there, here, If you, hey, low key T, if you want to make a song for Wake the F Up Radio, it can be the intro to every episode. And I'll always make sure people know where to go to get you more subs. So, and there's other great talented people in the community too who are musicians. I'd love to get all your music on the show. So there's a lot of people out there that deserve a lot more support. And we've had some of those musicians on our program over the years. So if you guys are still out there, come on back on the radio program I'm planning to do. I guess we don't have to worry about it because if we got music from the community, there's definitely not a copyright on it. So anyway, yeah, you guys want to see this happen. You want to see this radio program happen soon. Again, I did put up the ways to donate tonight. And that said, we can start taking some calls like we typically do. So if you do want to phone in tonight, 213-233-3998. Please don't be the person who blows up my cell phone all night when that's not the number to call in for TFR, especially when the phone number is up on the screen. But 213-233-3998. We have a couple of people on hold already. If you do call into TFR, understand it's a call board. So you call in and you get in line. Right now there's 6 people in line. So the next person to call in will be the 7th in line. You just wait. I go down the calls in order and you get in your place. So all right, let's take 317, and I'm going to pay attention to the chat. Chat, let me know if there's any echo on these calls, and I'll adjust the audio settings. All right, 317, you're up.
Hey, Zach. So I just want to give you some information that kind of takes it to a higher level. So you've been on point.
Hold on. Just, if you were turning in an English paper right now, and that was the opening sentence, I want to give you some information that takes it to a higher level. Everyone will be like, what's it?
It's a computer.
Oh, that takes a computer to a higher level?
So everything that you've been talking about with all of it, the Jesuit order, the King James Bible, the football games, the basketball games, all of it ties back into a computer. It ties back into artificial intelligence. And the source code is pi and phi. The strings of pi and phi, you can find it all there.
Okay.
And it is literally a slave simulation. That's why it doesn't make sense, because it was designed to not make sense. And when you look at that King James Version, it came out in 1611. Perfecting slavery equals 1611 Jewish. Perfecting the slave system equals 1776 Sumerian.
I'm literally already disinterested. I can't stand decodes like this. Perfecting slavery? I don't think we're taking it to a higher level. I think we're just taking it to, he just put those words together to make it match level.
I've got information that, it's literally, you'll figure it out eventually, but I mean, right now you're too emotional. All
right. Adios, 317. I'm not too emotional. It's just, I am on a higher level. Sorry, not to sound arrogant, but just, a more intelligent person listens to that and like, these are dumb decodes. God. And a more intelligent person doesn't start a sentence with it. Sorry. Let's go out to 980. 980, what's up?
What's going on with you, Zach? How you doing tonight, brother?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. That's me who on that CashApp with that black magazine. That's my TikTok name.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's I got the one with that collusion song, that Order Out of Chaos.
Indeed. And by the way, that kind of music can be on the show. We've promoted your album in the past.
Hey man, I know, and now like I said, bro, if you got my number, just write it down, man. Whenever you do something, bro, I got money on that. I ain't one of them kind of dudes, dude. I got bread on whatever you're trying to do. That's not, you don't got to give me nothing. I don't play like that.
Well, I appreciate that, but
if you need a couple of $100, just let me know, man.
I appreciate that, but again, I do also like to give in addition to receive. And again, talented person like you with a great message, you deserve the airplay.
My CD, that's enough for me.
Yeah, and we can definitely promote your album a lot more. Now, I do remember you saying a while back, though, that you're not doing the music thing anymore. Is that true?
Yeah, well, all I do is controversial music now. I give it to the industry. See, on my TikTok, you can go on there. Hey, I love your short posts. Like when you got them 5 and 6 minutes, I screen record them, and then I just repost them on my TikTok.
Okay.
So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get TikTok a couple of $100 just to make sure I can get the 500,000-600,000 views.
Okay.
So and actually that's how people gonna actually have to help. That's how you spread the word. You have to go to where they at. That's the same reason I'm in Black Magic. Personally, I don't give no fuck about no Trump. I care about the people who believe in him, though.
Sure.
Because they are the wokest people. They're woke. They just don't really know how in-depth the situation really is. So yeah, Trump on the like you said, the lesser of two evils. But I mean, he's evil as shit. He's part of that same system. I mean, you got good basketball players and you got bad basketball players. They're all on the same fucking team.
Indeed.
So, and that's just the situation we in. The people just don't realize that. But see, I was listening to you earlier today, and our biggest problem is, and I hate to do this to the people and the listeners, because I love all people. That's the kind of person I am, and I really don't care what religion you believe in. But all of it is bullshit. And in the minute that you start believing in one of them, you have already lost. You have already lost. They're all designed to have you as a follower. They're all designed to close your mind. So that's my thing about that. But that's what I was really on there for. Whenever you're ready to do something as far as because you need a real platform, you're better than Alex Jones and them. You're better than all them people. You don't take no sides in this shit, which you ain't supposed to, because of a person trying to tell the truth about anything. How can you take a side? They control both sides. There's control opposition. We already know this. See, we don't want to believe that. That's the problem you got with the majority of the people. They don't want to believe it. You can prove it to them all day. You've been doing it for 10 years. Day in and day out for 10 years, 25 channels. The news won't do that for you. That's for damn sure.
Truly. And I mean, just the thing that really burns me is how literally we're just talking about the same stuff day after day. I mean, I literally wrote a book that's it's almost 7 years old now. And again, the 18th chapter of that book, in that chapter, about the ritual shaming and killing of black people by the code of 42 and 59. And yesterday, they got the latest 42-59 ritual of Jam Master Jay and Puff Daddy. And then boom, one day later, now we have a black WWE wrestler dead on the 59th day of the year. And he was the bodyguard for a white wrestler, and he's dead on the 42nd day of his age. And then meanwhile,
that wrestler's name was DiBiase too, Ted DiBiase. But yeah, I reposted that. I reposted that. Anytime you do 42 and 59, I repost it. I'm black. I got a gang of black people who listen to me. So I repost everything that's about 42 and 59 and 76.
And it just drives me nuts that you have all these people in the world who pretend to be trying to elevate consciousness and bring relevant information out there. Like, people are looking at Joe Rogan every day. Joe Rogan could change the world with this knowledge if he made a point to get it out day after day. But then he wouldn't have a $250 million contract. And again, that's how we got to wake. It's just amazing to me that people don't understand the way the world works. Joe Rogan's not going to be able to say anything that really matters because he has a $250 million contract. I don't know how people don't get that. But this is why we have to figure out how to get, because we're not, the point is, you guys, it's been over 10 years of being on point and educating about these things, these sick things happening in the world that need to stop. We're not going to get help from a higher up, somebody who has a big platform. It's just not going to happen. It would have already happened long ago. That's why we need the people who are here to do what they can to get the message out in a much bigger way. If that's $1 a month, that helps. But again, like this man's doing, He's screen recording the videos. He's putting up on his platform. You can do that. These are simple things to do that everybody can do. Everyone needs to learn about this.
I send them to the channel. I told them it's live tonight. I'll send them to the channel. Tell them when it's live. If you really want the information, I tell them all the time. I know about these numbers. I can't explain this shit in depth because you have to really know what you're talking about. Now, if you want to know about what's going on, you have to turn to you. None of the people are more in depth than you. These people don't know this. See, like I'm back in college now. Like I got world religion right now. So I'll never quit filling my head with knowledge. But I read it and get the knowledge from it because I know it's bullshit. But then I have to see how they operate because now I realize that this is what they're operating off of. All that religion shit is what they use to ritually fuck us around.
Right. Absolutely.
And they prey on fucking us up.
Absolutely. And about the 42:59 thing, for people who don't know, slavery is 42 in Gematria, slave is 59. Ephesians 6, 5 through 9, the verses about slavery. Associating slavery with black history.
Black brothers.
One physical description of Jesus in the Bible, that of a black man. How does the New Testament begin? The 42 generations to Jesus. We're talking about how the Society of Jesus has given us the language, the calendar, and uses the Bible like a playbook. There's a reason the same numbers keep recurring over and over and over. And again, here's the real tragedy. When I went to Buffalo to explain about the white supremacist shooting on Israel's birthday, there were a lot of people in that community that got what I was saying. But the thing that drowned me out the most were the religious black people. I mean, literally drowning me out because they're there as the church with their sermon with huge mega speakers and music. So it's hard to communicate to anybody because all we're hearing is, just everything about Jesus. It's like, how much longer are we going to wait for Jesus to come save us? How much longer is it going to be all about Jesus while the same stuff keeps going on day after day? Again, go ahead.
That's crazy too, because I'll be wondering how long do people, period, accept the New Testament? Matter of fact, not even the New Testament, because that's what they try to play you with. It's the Bible. There's only one Bible. The other one was the Old Testament, but there's only one Bible. But the one kicker off when it comes to what they call the New Testament is that at that point, God stopped punishing for slavery. And all of a sudden he told you, accept that, turn the other cheek, for that slave master know no better.
Exactly.
How do any black person follow that religion when it's telling you to be a good slave?
Exactly.
If that ain't the ultimate submission, I don't know what is. And they fear that, especially the black Israelite. That one wear me out more than any of them.
Yeah.
Now they want to take that fake religion and legitimize it. No, you're legitimizing it. I don't care if you change the colors of the people to orange. It's a bullshit story.
Exactly.
So that they killed and persecuted the people for 356 straight years to make the people believe in that shit.
Exactly. I mean, it amazes me how people succumb to this religion. The religion that's been spread across the world at sword point and gunpoint. Again, this nation began in a genocide that was justified because the savages, as they called them, didn't have Bibles. You just look at all Latin America conquered by Spain and then just submitting to the Catholic Church's religion. And then supposedly people in the... Again, you guys, this is why the people who actually get what we're trying to do here, there's not enough of us right now. We have to grow our numbers. You see how this weekend I spend the weekend ranting against religion and flat earth, which is an extension of it, and so much support falls off. I shot myself in the foot this weekend by doing that. I've done it in the past, but I'm not going to stop doing it because these things need to be understood that they are part of the system that is keeping us right where we are. Again, when I was in Buffalo, I reached a lot of people, but I had religious people coming and trying to shut me up. I had a woman that told me I need to shut up. I was the wrong skin color, and it was the time now to pray to Jesus. I thought, listen to this, man. If only she knew what had just happened in this community. The Society of Jesus just did this one on you, lady, and you think Jesus the story they used to control you, like you just said, to make you a good slave, to make you turn the other cheek. You think that's what's going to change anything? You got to be kidding me.
It actually, as the people accept the people of Israel killing Hamas, these people, we accept war. We're okay. Like if these are not real people dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually, if you support anybody going to war, you're a piece of shit if it ain't in defense of yourself.
Right.
Anybody.
Right.
Well, you're a piece of shit. You really you subhuman to me. Like how can you even? First of all, even if you was to believe in that faith, that and martyrism don't go together. It don't go together.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not killing for God. If God is so fucking powerful, then why do he need you to kill for him? He don't need you to kill for him if that's the case.
Exactly.
Like all that shit is bullshit. They run that bullshit on you, and this is why it'd be so hard to get people. Because see, I don't never stop pushing the numbers. From the day I started learning about these numbers, I just pull a person to the side every time they say, "Man, can you believe this story?" I'll be like, "Oh, I definitely can believe it. Let me show you this. This is why it's like this."
Right.
And it fuck them up because they don't be expecting that. And then I tell them, so you might want to keep this calculator on your phone. Keep this calculator on, and when they start showing you numbers, man, they show you numbers for a reason. They don't just give you bullshit names the same way that very rarely do you get a person's middle name, man. And they just Lakin, Hope Riley. Like, first of all, who the fuck names their kid Lakin? But I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. What if you do?
And it's not just that too. They put out an image that her body was found by a lake too. And then I mean, it's just like, look at all of it. And then her name is 222, and it's on February 22nd. And again, for the people out there,
she's 22 years old.
Exactly, she's 22 years old, and then the next thing you know, it's a 25-year-old burning himself on the 25th, and in a ritual perfectly synced with Exodus 3:2-5 about the burning bush. Again, it's reminding you this whole war is using biblical prophecy and numbers right from the book to contrive this whole scenario. You get, again, there's so many people who I just can't understand how they don't appreciate this knowledge more. Right now, another thing buzzing, the royal family death. How often do we teach about the royal family in 56? This guy's dead on the 56th day of the year. They announce it 56 days from his wife's birthday. He's dead 263 days from Charles' birthday, the 56th prime, when he had his coronation on 5/6, and the last king of England was 56. And we keep talking about this same number with the royal family. Then on top of that, his name's Thomas Kingston, which equals 76. And it happens in Charles' 76th year of life, exactly 76 weeks after he becomes king. Again, like I say, there's not a story that comes out day after day. Exactly. Every day we're here.
Every major news story.
Every major news story. That's not every major news story. Every big sports event. We're here showing, look at what Gematria built. The script. Look at how ritualistic this is. And again, once you're just like, okay, this knowledge comes from Kabbalah, the secret political faction is known as the Cabal. I mean, it's so logical once you recognize it. So again, we got to help more people reach this.
What's the first? Is the first the 61st day of the year or something? March the 1st.
March the 1st this year, and a leap year will be the 6th.
No. What's tomorrow? The 29th.
It's the leap year.
It's the leap year. Tomorrow the 29th, right?
Yeah, which will be the 60th day of the year.
That's Thursday, the 29th. There's something tomorrow, because for some odd reason, Biden and Trump going to Texas tomorrow. So it's something about the numbers tomorrow, for sure. There's no, I mean, because they're making it painfully obvious that Trump and Biden is both going to the border. They keep saying this. That's all they've been saying all day. They both going. Actually,
here, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Here, it's the 60th presidential election, right? So they're both going there on the 60th day of the year. The border is one of the biggest issues, I imagine.
What the election is about.
Right.
And that's what the election is over. The border.
Donald Trump equals 60 in Gematria. We all know what happened to his wife exactly 60 weeks into the first ever Jesuit nation year. And again, I mean, that's why you guys, it really is a damn shame that Team Gematria doesn't have a big bus, and we're not hitting we should be right where they're going to be tomorrow with some big ass loudspeakers, a team of people, and just saying this needs to stop. We need to see how all they do every day on us is a numerical ritual. They're here on the 60th day of the year, not by accident. It's the same reason Trump's wife's in the ground. Let's talk about what happened to his other family members, his sister this year by the numbers, his brother on the Jesuit order's birthday. Let's talk about what happened to Beau Biden, really dead at 46, and what that'd do with Joe Biden becoming number 46 weeks after the post-birthday. Let's learn what these numbers mean to these people. There's a reason, like we're down in Texas, we could be explaining why JFK was dead at age 46 along Interstate 35 when he was number 35. I imagine the way it should be. We should have one of those trucks that they have that drives around with a changing billboard with a huge gematria screen on the back, showing them how Catholic equals 35 when you run the alphabetic order forwards and 46 in reverse. And just going right down the line with everything. I mean, again, why are there not 1 million people who got $1 a month for this? There's not 1 million people suffering from this tyranny. There's more like 300 and some million. All these people are in the drive-thru for McDonald's and Taco Bell and this trash, toxic food, paying a fortune for it. Paying Bill Gates' Starbucks company. If you don't know, Bill Gates is behind Starbucks. For people didn't know that. That's the reason it's really everywhere.
They do it to you on purpose, man. They do that to you on purpose, though, because even I used to be signed up on the on that Patreon to where it just took $5 a month off my card. For some reason, it just stopped doing it.
Yeah, a lot of people told me the same thing, and then it doesn't let them sign up anymore. And I think that's part of it too, because I just don't grow. I just shrink as time goes on. So anyway.
Well, I'll do the same thing, Zach. They do the same thing to me, man. They do the same thing to me. They even do it with my music and everything else. But they've been on me for years, man. See, I didn't just become controversial. I've been actually on the industry and about the way they is. A guy told me in 1996, man, and I'm going to tell you, I got over 300 songs. At least, that's a minimum. I got about at least 300 songs. He said, Snake, I hate to tell you, man, but you're not going to make it. I said, why? He said, because you homophobic. And he said, these people, and this is a guy who wasted $300,000 hanging out with Bobby Brown in California for 3 months.
Well, I'll say this. Every 90s rapper was homophobic, and a lot of them had multi-platinum albums. So I can't feel that's what was holding you back.
Well, I'm just saying that was just a statement he told me, but I didn't, not even the fact that I mean, even far as with the executives like that. I mean, personally, I don't really play that. Don't get me wrong. I don't even have nothing personal against that. Them people, period. I don't care what your sexual preference is. Hell, my nephew is, and he's one of the speechwriters for Biden and Harris. I don't care about that. But you can't ask me what my personal opinion is on that, because I'm not one of them type of people who hold you up. That's the same way I am with God. I'll tell you, I believe in God. That's just as deep as it goes. Don't give me no names. If you start talking about that religion, I'm going to tell you, I don't subscribe to your doctrine. I don't subscribe to that. I just believe in God. I believe everything y'all tell us is a bunch of bullshit. Don't you see how nasty the world is? How can I believe anything that I tell you when all the authority is full of shit? And that's from the Catholic Church all the way down to your politicians, the smallest one.
Indeed.
They're full of shit. So why would I believe in anything that they tell you? Yeah, I can't believe you're gonna tell me nothing about God when you changed God yourself. What am I supposed to believe in? What you changed it to? Like, come on, man. Even the story of Jesus, man. Some of these people are so crazy, man. You know how many times that story was told before it was a Jesus?
Exactly.
And they still told that same damn story, man. It's in about 1,000 different religions. All of them got different names for them.
Exactly. Yeah, and the Romans,
come on,
the Romans, it was Mithra before it was Jesus, and they have the exact same story, and it's like,
yeah. Then they won't even do the history on the religion they believe in. You don't want to believe that it's Anglo-Saxon and them damn Vikings, just like the language we speak, English. It was a pirate's language, bullshit language.
That's because there's consequences.
One word.
There's consequences. There's consequences, right? If you even question your belief, there's a chance you could get the eternal damnation. That's the way a lot of them think, because that's what they've been taught. So, I mean, that's just the whole thing. It's like, you really think that's how God would have it? That if you question what you were told from the authorities in a book, that God would punish you? I mean, just that in itself is idiotic, in my opinion. I hate how people allow fear to control them. And it's the same game over and over. People went out and got the experimental jab because they were scared. People went along with giving up their rights and liberties after 9/11 because they were scared. It's like, recognize the way they play us. They scare us into submission. We have to wake up.
Oh, even with the God, that's what they tell you, the fear of God. The fear of God. That's what they do. They whole game is the scare tactic. Everything is a scare tactic.
Right. It's funny.
But I don't know if you remember when I told you it was about to be, it's going to be a race war between the illegals and the Americans. I told you. I don't know if you remember me telling you that a couple months ago.
Sure, they're trying to make that happen. Yeah, that's what they want. They want to get us.
They're going to make it happen. They're going to make it happen. You don't even know if these stories are true or not. And if they is, one thing for sure, we do know they're coming across that border at unprecedented numbers. China don't send. You don't get to leave China anyway. So if that's the case, if 30,000 Chinese people showed up, then we know who sent them.
Sure.
So 30,000 people don't get to flee China.
Whether immigrants are coming in the way they're presenting or not, I mean, what's going to happen though is if they do decide to pull the plug on us, I mean, just in communities like this where it's like half, whites and then a lot of native Hispanics, you're just going to see just like the outrage come out, even though a lot of the Hispanics came over here legally and have been working here for a long time. It's just
Zach, it's actually Zach. No, it's actually a little deeper than that. It's all out mayhem. It's the same philosophy as the sixth distance. They want everybody scared of one another. You're not gonna know who to trust. Because first of all, you got to think the way they ran these politics. They done ran a nice percentage of the black people to Trump. That was on purpose.
Sure.
They ran a nice percentage of the people to Trump.
It's like Snoop Dogg.
That's on purpose.
Snoop Dogg comes out now and says he's probably voting for Trump, when in the 2016 campaign he was making the music video with Trump getting shot in the head. So again, you see the games that are played.
Oh, well, they don't. Well, that's first of all. I hate to say this, and my black people get mad at me when I do this to them. Say, man, and I hate to use the word, but I'm black and I can use this word. They don't got no good niggas for you. You don't get to see none. Now, how about that? You don't get to see none. Yeah, I don't give a damn which one of them you name, from Barack Obama to James Clyburn to Maxine Waters to Kamala Harris to any one of them you name, Jay-Z, LeBron James. I don't give a damn which one of them you name. Ain't none one of them shit. They ain't nothing but for the detriment of you. That's all they for. That's why our music is to degrade one another. Our music is to degrade you. It's to keep your self-esteem low. It's to keep your mind closed. You concentrating on sleeping with somebody else's woman. You ain't even got time to worry about why your gas prices is high as hell and why these people killing all these people on certain days and all these coincidental deaths. Black people don't never get to live to be old. Not entertainers. Black people die young. Black people don't realize it, but we die young. A hell of a percentage of us.
Yeah, indeed.
You don't hear about black people being 98, 100 years old. Matter of fact, when you do, they put their ass on TV. The rarity.
And again, I mean, it's not by accident. It's by design. It's like I said, when I was living in Seattle. For people who don't know, Seattle's one of the most segregated cities in America. It like south of Dearborn is the black population. North of Dearborn is where all the white people live. And I used to teach down the south end, and where I lived I lived in North End too. But I had a Safeway by my house, and you went in there, the produce seemed decent. Man, you go to the Safeway down in the south end, it's like they get all the rotten stuff. It's like they're like the tomatoes just like squishy, just way past ripe. Bananas are all just super. It's like, look at what they get in their grocery store. Just like all the shit produce is here, and it's not an accident. And then not to mention, I mean, the only other restaurant in the whole community is a McDonald's. It's just so. I mean, it's like
they had the nerve to come on TV the other night, man, and tell you that it's more affordable for you to eat cereal. You can eat cereal now for dinner. What they're really trying to condition your mind into accept being poor.
Well, you know what the thing about cereal is?
Don't worry about it. Eat cereal. The junkiest food that they got, that's some of the most junkiest food you can ever put in your system is cereal.
Absolutely. It's sugar. But the other thing about cereal now is, like, to me, cereal's not even affordable. I'm like, who's still eating cereal? Look how expensive this is. For anyone out there wasting your money on cereal, stop. If you need something quick in the morning, get one of those instant water heaters. You can get them for like $20. It's like, what, 3 boxes of cereal. You can heat up water in seconds. Don't get instant oats because they're not good for you. Get your old-fashioned oatmeal and, what do you like? Peanut butter, cinnamon. These things aren't that bad for you. Put a scoop of that in there and just dump the hot boiling water in instant oats. Let it sit for about 3 minutes. It cooks plenty. It's digestible. It won't give your stomach a hard time. That is so, and you'll get way more meals out of that. It's healthy. It's nutritious, or a lot more healthy and nutritious than cereal. I just like cereal's another thing. Like fast food, I'm like, who's still buying cereal? It's terrible for you, and now it's super expensive too. So.
Oh yeah, outrageous. Like I said, they don't understand they're killing the society. I understand the Trump supporter. I do understand what the Trump supporter go through. I like Trump not on a personal level, on the level of keeping the government in chaos, because in actuality, we do need this motherfucker to crumble. People don't realize that. As much as they wanted to stay together. No, we need this shit to crumble completely. Abolish all them agencies. And need to abolish all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, don't believe that he's going to be here to save you. Oh, he's going to fuck you in the end too. Because he played the game right along with them. If you think that Trump is going to go to jail, you'll have to be a damn fool. If he was going to go to jail, you'd have been there already. If you think they're going to take $350-something million from him, no, they won't. It's going to be enough of these fools out here to start donating him the money to get it back. It's how ignorant the people have become.
It's all for show,
do
too.
That to keep him rich.
It's all for show.
Keep him rich, and then they'll not donate to keep you poor.
Again, this number that they keep putting in front of everybody right now, that Trump's got a $454 million liability. It's like, oh, I wonder where this number came from. 454. I mean, number 45. And again, what happened to his ex-wife 45 years after their marriage. Him being announced the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, when Berlin Wall equals 45, like ritual. It's just, that's why it gets annoying that people don't catch on to the obvious numbers put in front of their face.
Well, it's not deep. It's not that deep to them yet, Zach, because like I said, the one thing that you losing the people about is the main reason. They got so much faith in God that's for the unexplainable to them. They're willing to believe in coincidences. Mm-hmm. They'll see these numbers, but I tell people this, man, if it falls in the pattern once, that's a coincidence. If it happens 2 times, it's a miracle. Now, if it happens 3 times, it's just a fucking pattern, man. Okay, and somebody doing it. Period. Numbers run to infinity. The probability of people dying and all of this shit matching up with their names and the days they was born and all that, for that to be possible, it would have to be a pattern. You can do it to everything that happens on TV. Anything they report to it, the whole TV is a script. Everything. I don't care what you turn on it. From the commercials to the programs that you watch.
There, you just said it. Your regularly scheduled programming. They're programming us.
Yeah, people don't want to believe it, man. I keep telling them, man, no, the biggest enemy is the television, okay?
It is.
So let me tell you now, even these platforms like this the longest I ever get to even talk about this kind of shit, because once I put it out on my post, they start going. I'm going to tell you something, man. When I first got on TikTok, I would do a video that motherfucker had 900 views in 2-3 minutes. Now I won't get 900 views. Not unless I promote. They've actually letting me know we're not going to let them see them videos not unless you pay us to promote you now.
Yep. That's part of the reason I haven't gone back on TikTok. I when I first started TikTok, my first 2 videos did really well. My first one got like 30-some thousand views. My second one got over 100,000 views, which if you guys never saw it, it was the altercation I had in the post office where someone was telling me to get out of there because I didn't have a mask on, and then the manager of the post office came and threw them out of the post office. And after that, I just couldn't get any views on TikTok, so...
Yeah, they starting to slow me down now because they want the money from me, man. That's crazy. But at the same time, I don't care because, like I said, I'll give them a couple $100 just to make sure I get the views on there, just so I can push the platform, so I can get so I can get them to start looking at what's going on. Because, like I tell people, bro, there's no way for this to happen every day. Now, this man been doing this for more than 10 years. I can't give nobody that kind of credit. I can't give the Fox, CNN, nobody that kind of credit. You can't go 10 minutes with them telling you the truth.
Right.
About anything they tell you about. But they'll never talk about this. This is too consistent for it not to be the news. This is just amazing that this ain't what the news is. The only way it's going to stop if they bring attention to it. But see, the news people are part of it. Hell, when you do the newscasters, most of their names match the damn station they on.
Indeed.
Definitely Hannity and Lord Ingram and all them, they match Fox News.
Indeed. Yeah.
Man, even when I did the Black MAGA on TikTok, I swear to God, man, I put Black MAGA on here, that I swear to God. You know, once you do it, they come and give you their own number, their own name. So mine say Black MAGA 24. So I told my homeboy at work, I said, look, boy, you see this thing? I said, I never told them to put Black MAGA 24 on here. I just put Black MAGA. He said, what's the 24 for? I said, let me show you. Man, I pulled out that fucking calculator, put that Black MAGA in there. Do you know that motherfucker came up to 24?
Yeah, indeed. Indeed.
They did that on their own. I didn't do it. But see, I talk that shit on them. I do tell them about the numbers. Now, I will tell you that. I'll get to argue with somebody and then tell them, look here, man, all of this shit is garbage. If you knew about Gematria, you wouldn't listen to none of this shit that's on TV. I listen to this so I can understand how y'all think. And I understand why a lot of them, because this country is going to shit. The Democrat is on the fast track to the world, to the Illuminati. They just want to fast track it. But I mean, they all trying to get you to the same place. Just Trump, just a different driver. You know, Trump is trying to make sure that the whole society don't break, because don't get it twisted. One thing about Americans, they done got so used to freedoms that after a while now, you will cause a war and all that with a bunch of people if you try to force something on them. That will cause us to do something, especially black people, man. Black people are too emotional. You can't force nothing on them. They'll retaliate for that. That's the one thing they don't want, nothing is forced on them. Now, you can tell them and trick them with it all day, but you just can't force it on them. If you can tell it to them, we believe that in anything that white man tells you. I tell you the truth. We believe anything he tells us. We didn't whip that person into shape. All you gotta do is look at the Democratic Party. Black people vote for these people. These people have kept, this one party has kept you down in the whole history. Vote Democrat. I don't know how you register as any of them. I'm an independent. I don't play with none of them. When would I be a Democrat or a Republican? But the last thing as a black person I could ever be would be a Democrat. That's just the ultimate slap in the face. That's the ultimate spitting on Malcolm X and them graves. What none of them people Democrats. No Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, you name them. You didn't have a black leader that was a Democrat. A Democrat? Come on, man. The KKK was their military. But see, what they got now is a bunch of what they call the house niggas. And that's who control black people. The Maxine Waters and all of them. Hakeem Jeffries, you know, their job is to make you accept being forced.
Did you hear the stream where I called into Maxine Waters' office? It was years ago now. Do you remember that stream when I called her office and how her secretaries were?
I remember, man, you know, you done called a few people that.
I have. I remember Maxine Waters' office, though, because they were like just one of the most disrespectful, just laughing at me like I was absurd. And I was just telling about these terrible rituals they do to the black community. They were acting like it was so stupid. And I was like, part of I'm like, maybe they know and they just don't give a shit. And that's how, you know, they stay on top.
The same way they was doing that, they was doing the Hiram McBeth for the George Floyd and the John Lewis. I'm like, man, that's what the whole kneeling for the national anthem ain't had nothing to do with kneeling for no national anthem, man. That was kissing the ring. Or the Freemasons. That was the Hiram McBeth. Same thing. That's like Trump. They don't want to see it, man. The apprentice. That's the first step of Freemasonry. Even when you're coming down the stairs and all of that, that's part of Freemasonry. That's why he always say, when I came down the escalator, if you notice, he always say, since the day I came down the escalator. Right. Pay attention. He'll tell you that. They've been doing this to me since the day I came down the escalator. There'll be rituals, man. They're talking about the Freemasonry of it. The apprentice. He's the apprentice.
Yep. Indeed. Well, friend, I always appreciate everything
man,
you do.
I'm just going to say, man, let me get this. I've been on this thing way too long, man. Look, man. Keep it up. You got the number, like I said, man. When you get ready to do that, if you need some money on that, just call me, man. I got something for that. I always got money for something that need to be done.
Do you want to plug your stuff real quick?
Oh yeah, you can go to I'm on all the digital platforms, or you can just go to my YouTube. It's Snake Cristiano. Cristiano is spelled Pletkskiano, and I got Order Out of Chaos on there. That one you're gonna hear me talk about Zach on there, and I got a song on there because there's 10 songs on that album. I got a song on there called Tell the Truth About It, and that's me talking to them about all this God they lied to us about. And I get on everybody from the Pope to the rabbis, to the Moors, and to the Freemasons. I give it to all of them, but I give it to them about them talking about all that God shit that we can't prove. They won't never prove that to you. So, like I said, listen to it. Like I said, I don't care if they bad or not. If you do, they only 99-cent downloads anyway. I'm not doing this to get rich. I'm really doing it to spread the word. And Zach will tell you this. Until I met Zach, I'm 50. I'll be 53 this year. I've been quit doing rap music. Once I learned about this shit and seeing how this shit was so thorough, I said, no, I have to rap about this. I wish I'd have knew about this when I was young. They would have hated me. They would have hated me to death. But that's the reason. So, yep, you did inspire me to go back to doing music. You know that anyway. I've been told you that.
Well, I appreciate it.
The name of that album is The Collusion, Order Out of Chaos.
I got it up on the screen for everybody to go check it out. So.
All right, Jack, man. I appreciate that, man. And like I said, you got the number. Lock me in, man. Whenever you're ready to do that, and let me know. If you're going to start doing it tomorrow, just let me know.
Okay. All right. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right. You have a good night.
All right.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Yeah, when I get this radio show going, we're going to have to do lots of guests and features, help people like him get even more support. Let's go out to 347. What's up, 347?
Hey, what's up, Zach? What's going on?
Another day in paradise. How are you?
I'm doing good. I don't keep it quick. I just got a couple of topics I want to hit. You see Tim Wakefield's wife died 5 months after he died. You see that, right?
Wait, who died?
Tim Wakefield's wife.
Oh, yeah, I put out a video on it. Yeah. Yeah. He's dead at 57 weeks from the conclusion of the upcoming World Series. Now she's dead 150 days later. That's weird because World Series equals 57 and 150. And he was part of one of the most famous World Series of all time when they broke the 86-year drought for the Boston Red Sox. So.
Okay, but my next one. Did you see But you talked about the fires in Texas, right? You could compare it to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, there's several things that are important. So wildfires in Gematria equates to 105 and 57. They began on the 57th day of the year, 105 days after the governor's birthday. Again, they began 15 days after the Super Bowl, not far from where Patrick Mahomes' college is. He's number 15, just had the big 15 ritual in the Super Bowl. Texas equals 15 in Gematria. And then, Texas Panhandle, like they keep saying where the fire is, that equals 72 like Jesuit order, and it began on the Pope's 72nd day of his age. He's Mr. Climate Change, and of course he became the first Jesuit Pope on the 72nd day of the year once upon a time. We're coming up on the 11th anniversary of him being the Pope, which should get interesting because Pope also has that Gematria of 11. But yeah, again, it's just another example of how these major catastrophes are synced with, the political leadership. And, the Pope, just ongoing theme. The Pope's written, every encyclical the Pope's written about is how we have to do something about climate change. And that's what they're saying. They're like, oh, look at this. Now a crazy wildfire in Texas in February. It's like, yeah, it's because you set the fire.
But Zach, CNN had a headline. This is what the headline said. The Texas, whatever they call it, they got a name for the fire. I forgot what the name is for the fire. They said that it's burning 150 football fields a minute. I said, why got to be 100 football fields?
You missed my video today. Exactly. And it's the 59th day of the year. And next year will be the 105th NFL season. And Super Bowl 59. And I don't know if you saw what Jimmy Butler did today, but Jimmy Butler's in a music video. He's from Texas, dressed up as a cowboy. So, yeah. I got a video up on GematriaEffectNews 25. I put up like 8 videos today between GematriaEffectNews 25 and Gematria Effect Sports. So I think I'm up on everything.
Zach, but the crazy part, why they had to say 150 football fields a minute?
Exactly.
They just had to put football in 150.
Exactly. That's the point I was making about the 59th day of the year, the way that CNN had to frame it. I was like, well, why do you think they're doing that on the 59th day of the year? This is going to be another ritual for you. Let's not forget Mahomes' birthday is the day leaving 105 days left in the year, which is also the NFL's birthday.
So I guess Mahomes gonna set the world on fire.
Well, hey, let's not forget that Jesuit motto either. Go forth and set the world on fire, which equals 144, like Jesuit order. And Texas Panhandle, I just said it equals 72, which is true. It also equals 144. So it's so obvious how it ties in.
All right, then I saw another story on CNN talking about they found this 2,000-year-old Mercury head in Kent, England.
Yeah, I put up a post on my website about that. Exactly. A Roman Mercury statue in the news on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's named after Mercury. It's just like, I mean, they're just...
Mercury's doing with finance and stuff, right?
Well, Mercury's got all kinds of connections. Rambo, if you're out there and you'll come back, Rambo used to always love to talk about Mercury the trickster.
So I'm thinking about Bitcoin is what, over 60%, whatever, 60. Bitcoin, you was talking about 60 with Trump, and Bitcoin is at 60 something right now, right?
Here, I don't know. What is the current Bitcoin value? I know it's way up.
I think
it's at $61,624.10.
So that is crazy that they found they had 2,000 year Mercury head in Kent, England.
Yeah.
And the last thing I saw was that boy from North Carolina, he scored 42 the other night. And I was just wondering, wow, 42 in Black History Month.
Are you saying he's on the Tar Heels?
Yeah, he scored 42 points the last game they played versus Miami. North Carolina had 75 points, and he scores 42.
Okay. I'll go back and look at that and see if there was more to that ritual. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I just wanted to make a point about the Texas fire and the Mercury head. Basically, that's it for now.
All right. Appreciate it as always. Yeah, I got a lot of videos up if you want to go back and check them out. It was a busy day.
Okay, I'll check them out later.
All right. Yeah, you have a good night.
All
right, let's go out to Michigan. Michigan, you're on. Michigan? All right, must just be one of those listening nights. Yeah, I take it he's just listening tonight. Let's go out to 403, Canada.
Hey, hello, Zach. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Yeah, I'm calling from Canada. I called in a couple months ago. I began reading your book, Letters and Numbers, in 2023, and I'm actually very fascinated by the amount of work and passion you put into the book. I have 2 more chapters to read, and I took a lot of notes on the book. I was doing some research a couple of days ago, and according to a website I found, the true name of Jesus is Yeshua HaMashiach, and I put that into the Gematria calculator, and it is 102 in reverse Pythagorean, when E is 22, just like, the N word is 102, and just like how you were alluding to a couple minutes ago, like the 42 generations to Jesus, just like how the N word is 42. I just wanted to bring up some sports. We are in the 78th NBA season, and the SARS pandemic.
We're in the 70. Did you say 78th?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I misheard. Yeah, we are in the 78th NBA season. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. So the SARS pandemic equals this 78 as well, and leave the world behind equals 192. Just like how LeBron James equals 192. one thing I really find fascinating is how the NBA Finals begins on the 6th of June, and LeBron James also equals to 66 and 102, and also 192. I think it was a month ago that the World Economic Forum was they like released something called Preparing for Disease X, and it equals to 112, 311, 133. 113. Just like how the number for dishonesty is those numbers as well, and also it equals to 185. Just like how Saturn is 185. The SPARS pandemic also equals to 138, just like Donald Trump equals to 138. And one thing I find pretty interesting is how it equals to 75, just like how the Catholic Church equals to 75, and how you were like basically saying how, the Catholic Church runs the world through the Jesuits, and how, Jesuits are, pulling the strings and all those things. My prediction is I think LeBron could win this finals this year, and he could go 5-6, just like how King Charles was coronated on the 6th of May last year in 2023. King Charles III equals 263, the 56th prime, connecting to the Society of Jesus, just like how Trump also equals 263. The Trump campaign in 2016 was 501 days, just like how Saturn is 511. And election day is on the 5th of November, which is just like Saturn, 511. I was doing some research into the SPARS pandemic, and I was reading some things. I was reading, it was on page 15, about how the CDC was like releasing, this drug called psilocybin, and it's basically like this, basically this drug that's used, to treat so-called, SPARS pandemic, and how it has adverse side effects. I'm just going to read from like the SPARS pandemic PDF. It states that the CDC's announcement contained similar information. A CDC spokesperson was asked direct questions on air. He explained the preliminary nature of the psilocybin trials and stressed that the efficacy of the drug against SPARS remain unknown. And it basically ties back, to like COVID-19, Event 201, how they were basically releasing these vaccines, especially, pertaining to like Pfizer, what they put in these vaccines, especially alluding to, and it's really unknown because it was just released in, such a fast manner. One thing I find pretty interesting is how, I think it's pretty obvious that, presidents are like elected and they're not elected, and how in the Gematria calculator, selection day is 192, just like LeBron James 192, leave the world behind 192. Basically, how you're stating how the Jesuits control the industry, control the sports industry, they control the political arena, they control all these things. I think it's like pretty crazy to even think about. Even, selection day also equals 132, just like how the Catholic Church equals 132.
Indeed. Yeah, good observations. It is possible, your finals observation, Charles is 66 as well with that 6-6 start date. So we'll see.
Yeah, I just have two questions for you. So I was playing around with the Gematria calculator. I basically put my name in the Gematria calculator, and my name actually does equal 201. And I was actually born Catholic. I was raised Catholic, but I don't identify as a Catholic. So I was just wondering, does that mean anything?
I don't know. There is an organic side of the code. I mean, the numbers associated with light, knowledge, you seem to be a seeker of truth. Maybe you got a 201 in your name. Maybe it makes you a little bit more prone to figuring out what's going on in the world. So yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, and also one more thing, like I found your work back in 2020, like when I was like 18 years old. So I was back in high school, like I was really ready for like I was really like ready for like to like go into the knowledge, because as an 18-year-old, you just want to like just have fun, play, have fun, do all the things that 18-year-olds are doing. But as I get older, I'm 21 years old right now. I'm just wondering, like, if you could, like, give me some advice, like, how should I navigate, the world with this type of knowledge? Because, like, obviously it's like a rare thing to, like, know these things at this age.
Sure. Well, you're still young, and when I was your age, I was I was probably about a year older than you. I was 22. I had been doing, from the time 9/11 happened, I was 18 when 9/11 happened, to about the time I was your age. I was speaking out a lot. I was attending community events. I was trying to raise awareness and meet like-minded people. And I found out that they were few and far between, and it was a very difficult thing, and I mostly became isolated from my peers. When I was 22, I graduated from college, and, I was missing my friends, and I kind of for a while, I just went back to a period where I just tried to be like a normal person again and not alienate myself and just enjoy life. So it's a balance, man. I mean, I think it is important to have a good time while you're young and make some memories. And it's difficult, but you have the knowledge. Like, again, there could be consequences too. Like, for example, for me sharing this work, I'm pretty much no longer employable in my profession, which is teaching. So it's a difficult thing to be awake in this world and have this information. And I don't know. I just say make sure you maintain as many of your friends as possible. And because that's just the one thing that I regret about my life. It's like I don't really have any. I have Sweet Lady, but I don't really have any of my friends in my life anymore. And I guess that's the one thing that I really wish was different. But yeah, just try to find the balance, I guess. So.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I should, like, I don't know, make a YouTube channel, like, I don't know, spread the knowledge, I guess, or I feel like I should just like not show my face and just just buy a mic.
That's probably not the worst idea. I think a big mistake I've made is just put out way too much personal information, because there's people in the world who do not want to share us, and they'll weaponize all the information they can against you, and they figure out who you are and where they live. They might even harass you in your own physical space. So yeah, it's probably better to have some level of anonymity.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. Once again, thank you for your work. Oh, also one thing, I bought this book a couple days ago by this guy named Bill Hughes. I was watching this documentary called Jesuit Order. Have you heard this guy named Eric John Phelps?
Yeah, I have one of his books.
Yeah, so I was reading his book today, and basically on page 75, he basically stated that Alberto Rivera, the ex-Jesuit, he said in 1936 the Spanish Inquisition exploded. It was called the Spanish Civil War, secretly orchestrated in the Vatican, and the Pope excommunicated the heads of the Spanish Republic and declared war between the Holy See and Madrid. And basically, it's basically about how the Spanish Civil War was, like, on the surface, it appears to be just a regular civil war, just like all wars, just like most wars. It had like Jesuit ties. It was caused by the Pope and the Jesuit agents, and I think it's just a pretty fascinating thing to learn about, especially how the education system, it's all about indoctrination and just dumbing you down and just making you just a hive mind slave worker, basically. I think it's just pretty interesting, just something I wanted to share.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Keep up the great research.
All right. Thank you, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take care. All right. 330. How are you?
Good. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit this blunt one more time, and then I'll be ready. Give me 1 second. So I think RPM trade, resist political manipulations. That's kind of a good slogan or good place to start here. Because like I've noticed a lot of people, they get sucked into this political narrative, and we always have to understand if it's political, then it's meant to be taken personal. And that personal attack, it's after the subjective thinking. Someone who's thinking subjectively, objectivity is turned off, the abstract thinking is turned off. So grasping gematria, for instance, which is purely abstract when we're just talking numbers, and it's so simple how it's added up that anyone who is thinking properly, they should be able to grasp it, but they're subjective thinkers. And I think I've touched on this before calling in, but the subjective thinker, they tend to be a victim, and it kind of sounds like our society is being rotted, or there's a cancer within it. And that cancer is these full-blown narcissists. Now, all children are primary narcissists. They're supposed to drop that going through adulthood and not become some cluster B personality, deficient person within society. But people who have this childhood trauma, they become these, childhood adults. They're locked in between ages 3 to maybe 11 max in maturity. And these narcissists, they just claim victimhood their entire life. And they suffer from persecutory delusions, which pretty much says there's an external locus of control. And the biggest external locus of control that I can think of is Jesus. Didn't you know, Zach, that Jesus is in control of all of this? And with this mindset, it sets up a perfect manipulation play by the tricksters, those who love the umbrella symbol, those who like to take down from within, those who go literally by the society of Jesus, have this populace of, defunct, I don't even know what to call them. Some people say they're not even human being at the end of the day. It's essentially they live is the narcissist. These narcissists are preliminary to the AI. They're like the first AI that we saw that like was retarded and it needed, some updating. That's like someone who's truly a narcissist. Like they cannot think properly because there is a false self that's running the day. And I don't want to make this a whole thing on narcissism, but it seems like our society, especially with social media, has gone down this path. So I kind of wanted to touch on this external locus of control. If it's not Jesus who's in control, it's the Jews. And it's just like, who's got all of this gematria? Who's got the pure abstract fingerprints? It's the Jesuits. I mean, it's simple. They've had all these different orders across time, the order of this, the order of that. And it's like every single time you see this order, could be the New World Order, the Jesuit order, the order of the Illuminati, you're seeing that it's their fingerprints. It's them just letting you know, hey, it's us. You pick up the rock and it's always one of them. Not trying to be too long-winded here, but I also wanted to say this. These people who have this external locus of control, these people who claim victimhood, it's like a defeatist loser mindset. And this is what you see all along this platform. It's just people who are defeated. People who think, and I'm not like, saying the guy earlier didn't have any good points. I would rather hire him a biff, but just let it crumble. The police need to go. It's like, no, there needs to be serious reform within the institutions that we know they are occupying. If there's serious reform within those institutions, then there can be change and there can be some sort of social cohesion. You lose all social cohesion. They want to push it for martial law. They want it to be extreme. They want to break up the United States. Why is it a coincidence that, like I said before, along all Route 80, these major cities are shitholes and they've been rocked? And it's as if they want to militarize the police. It's as if they want this chaos to ensue. All the industry has been moving south, and this is a plan of Henry Kissinger. Kissinger wants the secession of the United States. Everybody who's working underneath him, including Alex Jones, would talk about the break of the United States, the break of the United States. They want to move all the industry down south. So long story short, the nuance is abstract thinking. We need nuance when we need to talk about police. People want to talk about how good Trump is, but all he's done is back militarized police, giving them more reign than they even had before. Ever since he was in, things got even worse than what they were before. They got more toys. They got more ways to fuck with us. So anything else, I think I had a few notes, and that's kind of really what I want to touch on. You know, we know that how purely objective Gematria is when you see it for what it is. I think in Bible study, they call it exegesis versus eisegesis. You know, eisegesis, I think it's exegesis, you're reading it for what it is. Eisegesis is you're using whatever you have going on and you're trying to wrap your life story around what's supposedly in there. You can't do that with Gematria. It's there or it's not. So appreciate the time, man, but definitely want to let someone else get in, because I know there's probably a lot of people on the line.
All right. Appreciate the call. You have a good night.
You too. Peace.
All right, let's go out to 559.
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
I don't really know what the topic is tonight, but I was listening to you on Monday, and you were talking about love, and I was trying to call in, but I didn't get to get in. And I'm not really sure what your stance was. It almost sounded like you thought love wasn't that important.
It's not that again, I was making the point that I think society would be better off if we got rid of two words, God and love. And a lot of people say God is love. And again, I was making the point, it's not that I don't believe in a creator. I subscribe to the belief that there is a creator, but creator's not intervening in the world. Creator will send you signs. It's just like that as being an asshole and I spilled coffee all over myself. I felt like that was a sign from creator. I normally don't spill coffee all over myself. But other than that, it's not any more meaningful intervention than that. And again, just the whole world is just, I shouldn't say the whole world, but some people are just so obsessed with God, just crediting everything to God. This is God, that's God. I'm waiting for God to come save me. I'm fighting. My God is more important than their God. I just feel ultimately it's bad for humanity. God is bad for humanity. And I was saying the reason the word love, I would also argue, is bad for humanity is because people falsely use this word all the time. They use it to manipulate others. They don't really mean it. They say it to a woman because they want to get in their pants, and that's it. They're telling their wife they love them while they're having an affair, etc., etc. And I was saying, if you boil down what love is, I mean, what is it really? It's like love is built on really caring for somebody, really liking them a lot, and really having a lot of trust in them. So I said, if we just get rid of the word love and we just look at like the components of what love is, maybe that's better. So yeah, that's where I was going with that. But I was saying at the same time, like, love is a real thing. It's just a word that's so abused. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I think a lot of people don't really know what love is. You know, they know what eros is. That's what you were talking about. And I don't know if you know, there's like 4 types of love, and eros, which is like the lowest form of love. And this is where basically you have a strong passionate or physical attraction towards someone. But there's also higher loves. There's philos, which is a brotherly sort of love where you love people as we're part of the human race inhabiting the same house, the earth, and that creates a sense of love. But there's another love that's even higher than that, and that's agape, and that's basically you basically love everyone and everything as much as you love yourself, because you realize ultimately at the end of the day, it is you. If once you understand the law of one consciousness, and basically agape love is action, going out and doing service for others because it's the right thing to do. That's what real love is. It's an action of doing the right thing because you know in your heart that it is naturally the correct thing to do. And again, we know love exists because I've heard you talk about Hermeticism before, and we know that one of the laws of Hermeticism is polarity. And we know fear exists, because if it didn't exist, the cabal wouldn't be working so hard to get the people in a state of fear. But the polarity to fear is love. And these are pretty much the two driving forces.
Are we sure about that? I'm actually not sure I agree with that. Like, to me, the polarity to fear is courage.
Okay.
The polarity to hate is love.
But wouldn't you say that courage comes from love? Because ultimately,
it could. I would agree that it could. I would agree. Yeah, and yeah. I mean, like, you're not willing to dive into the shark pit under any other circumstances other than your significant other who you care about so much you can't swim is in there, and the only way she's going to survive is if you go in there and get her out. So it was love that gave you the courage to do something you wouldn't do under any other circumstances.
Right. So you would agree that courage, again, is driven by love generally.
It can be. It can be, yeah.
So, well, I was going to say that there's pretty much two driving forces for people's actions that everything else stems from, and that is love and fear. You know, love and fear is what guides our thoughts and emotions and actions, and what leads us to manifest ultimately what we create in the world. And since we're so fearful, and you know,
I want to play devil's advocate to this. I agree that fear is definitely used as the number one controlling force by the cabal. I have no argument there. Love, I see the argument, but I think really the better word than love for the other thing driving people is pleasure. I think it's more pleasure than love.
Well, the average brainwashed person, yes, but spiritually enlightened people are
right. Where are those people at? Where are those people at? That's what I mean. It's just like almost everyone's like seeking entertainment and pleasure. So,
well, I would say you're one of those people that. So
yeah, I'm a complicated person because again, I really do want to help humanity out. It's just like there's like a book and a movie called A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I totally get that because like I want the world to do better, and I don't want people to have to suffer the way we are. But then I also hate humanity because it's like 90% of people don't care and ridicule what we're doing over here while they go seek pleasure or whatever, as if that's the most important thing in the world. So,
well, there's a difference between liking something and not loving someone. I think you do love humanity on some level. You might dislike them or hate them because of what they choose to do. But if you didn't love them on some level, you wouldn't be out here just about every day, 10 years trying to wake them up.
Right.
That's agape.
No, I agree. And again, again, I'm also rare in the sense that I gave up a really well-paying job as a young person because I didn't feel right about it morally, and I just wanted to do something nice for the young people of the world, which was something that I always really wanted to do and what was really always in my heart. And I got nothing but ridicule and flack from my own family and people around me. They're like, Zach, why are you giving up a great job for minimum wage to work at a group home and a teen homeless shelter and to go back to school to be a teacher that's not going to pay anything? I'm like, because it's the right damn thing to do. That's why I'm doing it. So, anyway, the world doesn't respect it. That's what I mean. It's just like, I don't know why more people aren't this way. Because it's just like, it's so rewarding to do the right thing. It's like you sleep better. You feel better about yourself. I don't know why more people don't want to do these things in the world. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. But the thing is, if the cabal wants us in a state of fear and they don't want us in a state of love, wouldn't they want us as confused as on the topic of love as possible? And that's why when you look in the media, for example, all you really see is eros love, the lowest form of love. Not that it's unimportant, not that it's something that we all can't hold near and dear to ourselves, but there's other forms of love that are higher and greater than just what they're showing us and just what is getting in people's minds.
Well, the form of love you're talking about, the most superficial form where somebody falls in love because they're so beautiful and they want to essentially have a romantic relationship with them. I mean, it's like a lot of people's love doesn't ever evolve past that level. And that's why there's so much cheating and relationships that don't last and people killing each other at the bar, fighting over a girl that they don't even know. And yeah, I guess that's also where I was coming from with how this love word can just be nothing but trouble.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Anything that's good or has a basis in truth that's been twisted around to be misrepresented is going to be trouble. And I think we see that demonstrated just about every day.
Sure.
But another thing too I wanted to tell you about, or I think you should get in or try to work with this dude named Billy Carson. I've called him. I've told you once about him before. I noticed the people in the chat didn't really seem to like Billy Carson, and I think he was a shill or something, but I think that he's a legitimate guy because people, they look at him because he has money. He's one of the few truth speakers who's like a millionaire, and I think that turns people off. But his story has been pretty consistent throughout his years of how he made his money. Basically says he worked his ass off from the time he was, first grade, basically. But I think that this guy's platform can really, if he can help you reach like-minded people in the truth community who have not come across Gematria or anything like that before. And, I hope that your radio show that you're going to be having works out for you. But I think that this guy could also help you out because he's established. He has his own website and TV show, too.
I see it says he writes for Rolling Stone. Interesting.
Yeah, he's been getting on. He was recently on the Danica Patrick podcast talking to her. He's always in contact with a lot of influential people. But really, I think that's just because he's a person who's mastered these things like the law of attraction and Hermeticism and learned to apply those things in his life for the better.
Yeah,
I don't really think he's.
Yeah, very well could be. I'm not familiar with his work, so I'll have to check it out. I guess that's my opinion without knowing about anything about him. Is it's like, as a black man, how could he have not helped get out the word about what we're showing about what they do to the black community through this occult knowledge when he's writing about the emerald tablets and whatnot? That's just the one thing that I'd say right off the surface that's suspect. I mean, I don't know how he couldn't be aware of my work, being on the grind for 10 years pumping it out. So, and then just writing for something like Rolling Stone, I'm like, well, if they're going to bring him on board, I mean, Rolling Stone's putting out news by the numbers every single day. So, he could be a good guy, though.
It could be, but there's really no way to know for sure unless you actually met the person. But
Sure. Yeah.
That's really about all I had today, Zach. Just talk about love, and I think you should get into contact with Billy Parsons. I think you'd be good with each other.
All right. Well, we'll reach out and see if he wants to help spread the knowledge about what we show with 42 and 59. I feel like it's a presentation every Black American should be aware of. So, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. All right. You have a good night. Good call. Thank you.
All right. Zach, bye.
All right. Let's go out to 607.
Hey.
Well, what's up, Joey?
You know why the number 715 is significant in Atlanta, right?
Tell me.
Well, because when Hank Aaron hit his 715th home run, he became home run king, passing Babe Ruth.
Okay.
And
was he playing in Atlanta then, or was he playing in Wisconsin?
He was playing in Atlanta.
Okay.
There's a Wisconsin piece to this too, but so the Atlanta Hawks, they're the NBA team they're the N basketball team in Atlanta, and Quinn Snyder is their coach, and Quinn Snyder, he coached his 715th game yesterday.
Okay.
And I said, wow, there has to be a Hank Aaron ritual here, because 715.
He beat his old team. He beat his old team that he used to coach, the Utah Jazz.
Right. And of course, he passed Babe Ruth. Hank Aaron did on 715. And Babe Ruth, he played for the Yankees. Yankees equals 26. Babe Ruth, he was born on the date 2/6, February 6th. And the abbreviation for a home run is HR, 26. And so how perfect that the Hawks would get their 26th win of the season in their coach's 715th game when Hank Aaron on his 715th homer passed Babe Ruth, who's born 26 and played for the 26 team, and HR equals 26. But get this. Yesterday was 120 days after Quinn Snyder's birthday. Of course, Atlanta equals 120, and 120 is the 15th triangular number, and Atlanta also equals 15. So, of course, the Hawks had to get their 15th win of the season at home yesterday. And, of course, yesterday had to be 22 days after Hank Aaron's birthday. Braves equals 22, as does Aaron equals 22. So a big Hank Aaron ritual yesterday. And, of course, when Hank Aaron hit 715, it was a big deal because it was in 1974, first of all, and it was on the date April 8th, like Atlanta also equals 48. And Quinn Snyder yesterday got his 408th win, like 408. You can write the date April 8th, /08. But it was a big deal racially, because Atlanta, of course, is in the deep South, and Babe Ruth, he was home run king for a very long time with 714 home runs. And so you had a black man passing Babe Ruth in the deep South. But get this, from when they did this Hank Aaron ritual yesterday, it was exactly 1131 days after his death. And the word black power in Jewish gematria equals 1131. So they do this Hank Aaron ritual 1131 days after he died. Black power equals 1131. Of course, Atlanta, a black Mecca. But of course, black equals 11, and 31 is the 11th prime. So just a perfect numerical value.
Joey, I just gotta stop. I feel like I just like all of your decodes are just way over the top. Every connection just like, I'm not so sure. I mean, like Atlanta Hawks equals 32 and the Jazz picked up their 32nd loss yesterday. That's the decode. I'm not sure. Like Hank Aaron wasn't a basketball player. Quinn Snyder's a white coach. He got that 32nd. He gave his old team the 32nd loss, which made sense. It's just Hank Aaron didn't do any Black Power tributes. I mean, it's just
Hank Aaron, bro. You say the dumbest shit. Like I gotta say that.
I do. Joey, get a clue, Joey. Nobody likes your decodes, okay? And none of that was convincing.
Yeah, well,
guess what? Now you don't call in anymore. All right, let's go out to just here. Am I wrong? Here, let me look at the chat. Was that a good decode, or did all of it seem like a stretch? I remember how they killed Hank Aaron before the year the Braves won the 117th World Series, and we saw it was perfectly connected with the season. We called Jorge Soler to hit the home run on the 42nd pitch in real time in light of Hank Aaron retiring at age 42, which is so prominent between him and Jackie and Black history in sports. Like, I don't know. I don't ever try to do decodes that I'm just like, I looked for the number in this. I mean, every time it just feels like Joey's trying so hard to put things together. And again, Hank Aaron wore the number 44. He played with the Braves in Wisconsin and Georgia, the two states that equal 44. Those states do have a lot of 44 rituals together. Like Frank, who does great decodes, thinks it's a clown decode too. So. Yeah, Joey, I mean, get a clue. I'm not a fan of your work. I feel like you make the work look bad. I'm talking about bad decoders in the community. I'd put you right on the list. I mean, just go make your own platform and do decodes. Go away from here. Stop making my show look so bad. Stop ruining my show with just like horrible calls. I even got a flat earther who's like, man, maybe I'm wrong about the flat earth, but I'm not wrong about how bad Joey's decodes are. I'm like, exactly. Oh, man. Let's go out to 224. 224, what's going on?
Gematria News, what is up?
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing great. I think a lot of your shows all tie together. I do think even you talking about people who eat in cereal is a waste of time is one of those things that is people aren't taking into consideration that, and this ties into the God and love thing. It's like, regardless of all the forces out there, guys, when you have knowledge that can make your life better, everything's a numbers game. Food is not as expensive as everyone lets on to be. Food's not that expensive. Power's not that expensive. Growing your own food is not that expensive. Doing research is not that expensive. Heck, it's damn near free nowadays. All you need to do is stop seeking entertainment and use your time to, raise your level of awareness about what's going on. And you can have way better control of your life. The value of things will go up for you. Like, you can value your time more, value your money more instead of spending it on entertainment, bullshit, name brand clothes, etc. Be realistic about the girl you choose and why you want to choose her. Do you want to just get in your pants, or do you like her because she's funny, and so on and so forth? But I don't know. I just started listening to you and your show probably within like the last month or two, and I'm getting up to speed on Gematria. But irregardless, it seems like when you're on that path to truth, everything starts to line up. Like, you change your diet, you start seeing more things about how BS the food industry is, how BS the pharmaceutical industry is, how BS Hollywood is. You just like, I don't care about that shit. You start looking into stuff like this, Gematria, you're like, damn, sports are literally fake. Are you fucking kidding me? That's one of like the biggest hypnosises ever, is entertainment and TV. So much predictive programming put in there. I can't believe it. I'm going to get into your 2 books here pretty soon. I appreciate how you put out a lot of this just for free. And even your Patreon is so freaking cheap, with the potential to give people a lot of returns off some fake ass shit that you're just feeding the people. So I was just calling in to tell everybody and remind everybody, like, you know, we are doing the gematria and stuff. We are looking into the numbers. We are decoding a lot of BS. And, you know, also I want to give you a lot of kudos to, I don't really care about race that much, but you really are making a point to it that, like, yo, this has to do with race in a lot of scenarios, guys. It's not just some shit you overlook. It is a superficial thing, but there has to be a reason why all these numbers with certain skin colors and ethnicities happen on certain dates. It can't be coincidence. There's not that many coincidences like that.
Again, it's because there's an identity that's been stolen, and that community who's had their identity stolen is being destroyed. And you kind of see how it works. Like this guy was making fun of the other day, Joseph Living Waters. You know, he's essentially stolen my work, claimed it as his, and then tries to destroy me. It's almost like witnessing the same thing. It's like that's exactly what's going on, just with the synagogue of Satan, you know, doing it to the black community. So.
Is that in your book? Do you talk about the stolen identity in your book?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's all over Letters and Numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Because there's so much out there, like, you know, the Moors talk about that. There's, you know, black Muslims that talk about that, black people that say they're original Jews. Even there's black people that say they're Aboriginal Americans in this country too. So there's a lot of confusion out there, but I feel like after it comes to this channel, like, I feel like you're going to lay it out perfectly in your books. I'm going to go grab them.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, for people who've never read my books, they're pretty inexpensive in ebook form for my website. I also make them free. If you don't have a credit card, you don't like to buy stuff online, just search Zachary K. Hubbard, Subscribestar. Just make a couple clicks, you'll find the page where you can just download them for free. It's not hard to find.
I have one more question, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the point is, or what is being fed off of in terms of the rituals besides us giving up, you know, money to distractions? Do you think that there is some metaphysical sense behind the rituals and the confusion and, you know, the hypnosis? Do you think there's something more ethereal about it, or is it just, you know, what it is on its face?
Wait. Try to clarify your question for me. I'm not sure I followed it. One more time?
I will. So the rituals being performed behind, you know, people of darker skin color, do you think that it is feeding into something that is gaining energy from it, be it monetary, or do you think it is also metaphysical and spiritually feeding into some sort of conduit?
I think the answer is both. All of this is energy, and it's absolutely spiritual. And again, I encourage everybody to read the 7 Hermetic Principles. They don't take long to read, but they take forever to think about. And again, they're kind of like a tease. I mean, they enlighten you about things, but they don't tell you the whole picture. It's like there's probably some other Hermetic teaching somewhere sealed in a Vatican vault. But it's like, again, it lets you know that there's somebody who understands the vibration and the energy of everything in existence, and the person who has that understanding can use it to control and manipulate others. And I feel like we're witnessing that, and you see how humanity's being controlled and manipulated. So,
I do see that. Everybody in the chat, I really do think you should go read the Kabbalion. That lays out the 7 Hermetic Principles pretty good. Funny you say that we're being controlled by the sense. Not funny, but it's just interesting, because that's what I was really trying to make my main point about, guys. Change your diet. Stop eating so much hyper-palatable shit. Stop eating so much sugar, drinking so much alcohol, smoking so much weed, and doing so much meth. And maybe your vibration will get to a state in which you can actually fix your life, or, you know, fix your mind. Because right now I've been 50 hours with no food. I'm doing another 7-day fast just to kind of recalibrate myself and calm down. But I do notice when I eat certain things, I'm more likely to think a certain way and act a certain way. So I just wanted to bring that correlation to the channel too, and bring it to everyone's attention. But thanks.
All right. Yeah, good call. You have a good night.
You too.
Yeah. Again, a lot of people add sugar to their food. Like as an American, we shouldn't be adding any sugar to any food. Like if you're eating processed food, it already has way too much sugar in it. Just point blank, period. It's like almost everything. I wasn't paying attention to who the last caller was. 224? 224?
Oh, that's still me.
Yeah, sorry. All right. Yeah, I lost track of where I was. All right. Yeah, good call again. Thank you. Let's go out to 559.
Hey, Zach. Just want to say I like it when this vibe is going on your show. It's much more, I don't like the crazy Zach. We like this Zach, okay?
Well, it depends. It depends on who you are. Some people like when I'm ranting. So
this is Diamond Quantum, and one I wanted to say, a great tool you could use is there's a bunch of websites where you can sign up as speakers to go on like speaking tours, and you put your profile up on there. I don't know exactly all of them, but I think that would be great for you, to have that avenue to explore. Just look into that.
Hold on, you're saying like it's a sign up for people who'd like to speak on a show?
No, to be like a speaker at a conference or to be a speaker at a convention, things like that.
And what's the site again?
You just have to, there's a bunch of them, but like look up speaker, I don't know exactly. I found one a couple times, but it's just like people that go on speaking tours at conferences, like corporations will hire people, to like speak at their conferences, different educational things. There's all kinds of conferences in all over the place, in convention centers and stuff, So I think you probably would be good at doing that. But one of the callers had mentioned about they want us in fear. I don't think they necessarily want us in fear. Imagine that person that's spinning around on the baseball bat, and then they go, okay, now run in a straight line. That's what they're doing. They're using all this crypto, it's like cryptology, and they're just scrambling our brains. They are straight up scrambling our brains so that we are divided on every level that you can imagine. And, they're using all of it's like black magic. They're using all of their technology to just freaking scramble our brains as if it's like a quantum computer. And I keep going back to that because they do have, and it might be so ancient beyond our comprehension, where the Vatican does have a chronovisor, and I do think this is the key to all this, and it's some kind of quantum computer. And I have this book from a NSA former, and he's deceased now. It's from 1992. It's called Dragon Power. R.A. Boulay, if you want to pull that up, but it's a very rare book. And I want to read the back of it, and then I'll end with that. But it says, by the author of Flying Serpents and Dragons, this is the second in the Dragon series that seeks to establish the reptilian origin of mankind. This book traces the origin of the universal idea of a flying, fire-breathing reptile back through history to the ancient astronauts who established civilization in Mesopotamia around 4000 BC. It also describes how the serpent gods struggled over power stones, which were data storage modules or crystals, diamonds, and gave the owner absolute power. It proposes that all the strange and wonderful qualities attributed to crystals through history have a basis in scientific fact. Dragon Power indicates that the lost ancient knowledge is just being rediscovered as we enter the age of optics and crystals. A new age will see the end of the electronics as the basis of technology, especially in storage and manipulation of data. It indicates that, among other things, in the near future, we may be watching three-dimensional televisions projected as holograms in the middle of our living room. This is a truly, okay, so yeah, this guy was NSA cryptologist. So this goes to a level of where the CIA, cryptology is what won World War II. So this is a code. This is some kind of cryptographic cipher, like you're saying. But but for whatever reason, they're just the people that got this power. I don't know. The dragon is quite an interesting thing, but this guy also has a book called Flying Serpents and Dragons: The Legend of Mankind's Reptilian Past. And so I talked to a master mason in my community, and he said that basically there was creatures reptilians, I guess, that came to this planet, merged their DNA with Homo erectus, or Cro-Magnon man, and that's what we are. We're Homo sapien. So we're a mixture of these beings.
I just want to pause real quick. I just want to pause real quick because one of my trolls was doing a video recently, and he's like, I just talked to a 33rd degree Master Mason. And it's like, God, this guy's a moron. For people who don't know, Master Mason is the third degree, the final degree of the Blue Lodge. And you can become a Master Mason in a matter of weeks. So I just want to clarify, because you're talking about the Master Mason. Doesn't mean he doesn't know anything. It's just anybody can become a Master Mason, and it doesn't take that long. So go ahead.
No, I agree, and I agree with that. And I pulled up a video on YouTube where it shows the initiation ritual, where they basically agree that if they reveal that they're a Mason, they have to get their tongue ripped out and basically killed. So that to me, it's like, what's the point? Why, especially in this age, maybe back in the day when there was like no television and no internet or radio or communication, they probably, did that for entertainment purposes. But nowadays, why are you hiding it? I don't get that.
Hiding what exactly?
Like hiding the fact that they're not allowed to admit that they're a Freemason. If you ask a Freemason if they're a Freemason, they're not allowed to, or else they could potentially get their tongue cut out.
Freemasons are allowed to admit that they're Freemasons. They're just not meant to tell the secrets of Masonry, like the lost word and this type of thing. They're allowed to say that they're Freemasons. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Well,
have a good night.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. He didn't appreciate when I was ranting because I wasn't happy with his call, and I gave him a piece of my mind, and his call was starting to go to that point again. He doesn't want crazy, Zach. Don't come in with these whack-ass calls. Let's go out to 469. What's up, 469?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Hey, Zach. This call actually has something to do with me personally and dealing with Gematria. Basically, I'm going to get right into it. I don't want to waste too much time. Right now, as we speak, I'm on house arrest for murder and aggravated assault. Okay, now I'm gonna make it all make sense. One day I was watching your YouTube videos, and I seen you said that Scottish Rite of Masonry or Freemasonry equals 325. I have a court date coming up next month, and it's actually on 325. Now, I have a lawyer, a paid lawyer. He's actually a Mason. He used to be the DA of Dallas, but he's a defender lawyer now. We actually got this lawyer because my dad is a Mason, and we got this lawyer through one of my dad's Mason brothers. Me and my dad are actually, well, my dad is in jail, but I'm out. Both of us are on this case. I called you because I'm 80% sure Gematria is being used in this case, and I'm going to give you a couple names. The lawyer name is John Guzio, Joatngusio, if you want to look that up. But the street, if you can look it up, look up shooting China Tree shooting, Dallas, Texas. Now, China Tree equals 83. Murder equals 83. And when we had went to arraignment to get our bond, my dad did some type of movement in front of the court, in front of everybody. And he told the arraignment judge, my name is Caution. Caution equals 83. Now,
did this happen did this happen in 2021 in July?
Yes.
Okay, I found it. The one thing here, just to rewind, the one thing that just like made me go, wait, how are you on house arrest for a murder charge? That seems weird to me.
I bonded out, but my lawyer is a bonding lawyer. Okay. And now another thing, on most of the news reports about this, it said the shooting had to happen around 8:30 p.m.
I see. Yeah, they like to do that.
Yeah. Now, when my dad actually told on me on this case. When we both went in there and got interrogated, he actually went in there and said that I did everything. Like he did. He said my son did everything. I didn't do nothing. That's one of the reasons why he's back in jail, because the judge had made it to where me and him couldn't live together anymore. So
here, I just want to ask you something. You're not gonna get yourself in trouble for talking about the case.
No, nah.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're not doing anything to incriminate yourself.
Nah, never. It's just on my mind because it's just it's something weird about this case. Something is weird. Something, and there's things matching up. Before I called you, I don't know the numbers as well as you, but the couple names I was looking up, things were matching up. We actually got this lawyer. I'm gonna make it all make sense. We got this lawyer through one of my dad's Mason brothers. His name is Pat, but specifics, Pat got this lawyer through a guy named Jay Rich. Jay Rich is a Dallas rapper's manager. His name is Yellow Beezy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Before this happened, months before this happened, my dad had actually got into it with Yellow Beezy in a club. And it was a club somewhere, I don't know. They got into it before this happened. In some type of club, I guess a couple punches were thrown. But my lawyer had actually beat a case for Jay Rich, a double homicide case. He beat his, so that's how. When I had first got out of jail, my mom had picked me up from jail. I got out of jail in about maybe 4 days. But mind you, I've been on ankle monitor for 3 years. Jay Rich had came over here to our home when I first got out of jail, and the first thing he said to me was, "Do you know that Jesus had his disciples?" Out of nowhere, he said that. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that sticks out to you. I don't know. Maybe I'll just. If I'm reaching here, let me know. But I just feel like I just want to call and ask you, do you see anything that's sticking out? Like, I don't know.
Here, so I'm going to look into all this for you. So, okay, your father gets in a fight with Yellow Beezy, and I know who that is. His song "Back at It Again" was all over the radio, so he's a pretty prominent rapper.
Exactly.
Okay, and I want to say that song probably came out around the time this happened.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so your father gets in a fight with him, and then next thing you know, this killing happens, and it's getting pinned on you and your father.
Exactly, and this is actually a self-defense. This happened at our home. We were claiming self-defense for this killing.
Did it happen July 11th, 2021? I see that's the date of all the articles. Is that the day it happened?
I think it. I'm not sure, but yes, that most likely happened that day. Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I have to have all the dates and everything to look at it.
Yeah.
But I see where you're going with this. I mean, very, very interesting. If July 11th, 2021 is the date of the shooting, I'm tempted to look at just real quick in real time how this lined up with Yellow Beezy. Let's see. I'm trying to find his birthday. October 21st, 91. So he would have been just shy of 30 when it happened. So you were there when this happened, and you said it was an act of self-defense by you and your father.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I'm just seeing. Wow, that is weird. Yeah, that's all kinds of weird, man. Huh. Yeah. It is a very interesting number after Yellow Beezy's birthday. It's 263, the 56th prime. We know how often this number ends up in these kind of rituals. So
Exactly, man. I'm telling you right now, my lawyer 100% has something to do with this. I'm telling you.
well, you're talking about Freemasonry and secret societies, and here's one of their big numbers, 56, Freemasons 56. I'm sorry you're caught up in the middle of all this. That's what it sounds like to me. It's like your father crossed the wrong person, someone with some power, some connections, and the next thing you know, some retaliation, and then next thing you know, you and your father are in trouble.
Yeah, man. And my dad and my lawyer actually met one time. We was in court and they shook hands. My dad was like, "I'm a brother," and they shook hands like they kind of covered it up, like they was real close. You know, people shake hands, they don't be that close. They were super close. And he was like, my lawyer looked at him and was like, "Okay, are you?" Like he was like, "You know how people talk, like, are you okay?" And it was just weird. It's just weird. Something is definitely weird. You know, it's just weird. It's definitely a weird vibe about this case. I don't know, man. But another thing that was weird, like I told you, my official court date next month is 3/25. This whole time I've been having court dates throughout these 3 years, but they have just been recent. It's about an actual court date. So, but next month is the actual court date to where we actually going to go to court and see what's going on with the case. It has never been that deep in the month. It always be like the 10th or the 8th, or it never be the 20th, nothing. So that just looked weird, especially when I heard you say that.
Well, here's what I can say. It was years back. There's a gentleman in my community who lives near where I was, and he wanted me to come meet him for dinner, and he brought his daughter, who's a lawyer, and his daughter's interested in my work because she said she's pretty sure that lawyers are purposely choosing dates in like Kabbalistic fashion, and she thinks it has something to do with what I'm educating about. So that was coming from an actual lawyer and a prominent family in the community. Again, her dad had all kinds of dental places. So yeah, there is something to this with people in the legal profession. And here I am always pointing out the weird stuff they're doing with these courtroom trials. So yeah, it is possible it's all like that. You said that they said in a lot of articles it was 8:30. I don't doubt that. The first article I pulled up said 8:40, and then you're talking about your court date, which is typically the 84th day of the year, which is another big masonry number. So anyway, I just say, man, I hope the best for you. I will look more into this, and I'll put out an information because you'll look for the video when I put it out. But if you also want to reach back out to us and just confirm dates, and if you can get any more information, it could help me look into it more. But I'll look at it from the standpoint of Yellow Beezy, since your father got into a confrontation with him. So.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you so much, man. So,
all right.
I'll be in contact for sure.
Okay. Well, stay strong out there, man. I hope everything goes your way in the courtroom.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you have a good night. Okay. Let's go out to our friend in New York. How you doing, 347?
Hey, Zach, what's up?
How you doing?
Hello?
Yeah, how are you?
Taking it easy as usual. Hey?
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. You didn't look at the thing that I sent you about the Super Bowl?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I sent it to you last week before.
You sent it to GematriaEffectNews at Gmail? You sent it to GematriaEffectNews at gmail.com?
No, I sent it straight, direct to you. You know, Zach. On WhatsApp.
Oh, snap. That's right. I forgot to look at my WhatsApp. That's right. Oh, all right. Yeah, okay.
It was the same exact thing. Little by little, everybody's talking about the same thing you've been talking about for the past 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
I got the videos right here.
The guy was saying.
Okay, I'm going to watch this after the show. I got it open. I won't forget.
Yeah, when I saw it, man, I said, damn, Zach.
Okay. Next week I'll have the feedback.
More, man.
Yeah.
Eh?
And I'll watch these videos next week when you call in. We'll talk about it. I'll make sure that I got a response by then.
Yeah. I mean, it was straightforward. Everything what you say, man. Every single word that you talk about. Say Vegas. I like block the extra point, make it go in overtime.
Oh yeah. To make just the scores being Joe Montana's jersey numbers 16 to 19. It's like, how don't people see this? Come on, man.
But funny it is, a lot of my friends have started believing what I'm telling them now. You know what I'm saying?
They're not believing, they're seeing the facts.
Yeah. They start waking up, man. Even my wife said, you know something? All them numbers you've been talking about, and that's what you tell me. It's real. And even with this, I tell them, ain't nothing going wrong with Trump. Trump going to be the next president. And say, hey, where you get that from? I said, okay. You always see.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What I really want to do is get you up in New York, man, from this radio station. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get a book on character to the guy at the radio station and make him come and get on that radio station, man. WBI.
Oh yeah, I got to go on that network. There was a host who had me on several times, and then all of a sudden I don't know, that it was weird. Okay, where was I? Oh, it was when I was going down to LA last year. When I was on the way to LA, they called me up to have me on again, and they wanted me to come on that Friday, but I was going to be in LA out for the Kobe thing, and they were actually going to do a book drive for me and help promote my book. The New York station, the same one you just mentioned. Yeah, but then I said, well, can we schedule it for the next Friday? Because I'm going to be in LA. And they said, okay, we'll do it the next Friday. And then for whatever reason, they haven't had me back on at all. So I'm like, what happened? They were like super going to promote me. And then just, they haven't even had me back on the radios for almost a year now. So, yeah.
That station is take no commercials or nothing like that from none of those companies.
Yeah.
The listeners support it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did a couple, or it was more than a couple, probably 3 or 4 shows for them about a year back. And then, like I said, they were really going to do something nice for me. And then it all fell apart because I couldn't do it that Friday. And then somehow they just haven't reconnected with me. So.
Oh, I didn't know you in touch with them. So, that's why I was always saying, I got to go get the book and let the guy get you on for the radio, man,
They do have
their promotional.
My book is at that network. They have copies of it there, so.
Okay. I gotta check them guys out and find out what's going on, man.
All right. Well, I'll watch your videos.
See if I can make a link with them.
Very cool. All right, and I'll watch your videos you sent me. Apologies that I forgot to do it this last week, but next week I'll definitely have a response. So, good hearing your voice, friend.
I know you're busy, man. So,
Yeah, and I'm forgetful.
Keep up the good fight, see me, man.
Indeed.
And them little stupid ass people get you upset, man.
Yeah, I need to work on that too. So.
Yeah.
All right, friend. Always good to hear from you. Thank you as always.
Yeah, all right, man.
All right, you have a good night.
One love.
Yeah, indeed. Take care.
All right. Yeah, cool.
And with regards to One Love, again, that man used to know Bob Marley. We know the new One Love Bob Marley film's out, but we're down one Aston Barrett from the Wailers. And let's not forget what they did to him. One Love equals 34 in Gematria. He dies on the 34th day of the year. Black equals 34 in reverse, 11 forwards. He dies 11 days before the movie came out. And now, what's the name of the... Peter Morgan just died 11 days after the movie came out. Another reggae star. In Black History Month. Same rituals year after year. All right, let's go out to the next caller. We got about 30 minutes of show left. 708, you're on. $708.
Yeah. Oh, peace, Zach. This is Mooley. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I just came on to build off of some of the people chatting tonight. I think they have some good points, especially about Black history. There's something that's missing from a lot of these discussions, and that's the revelation of how the Bible was backdated in order to validate some of this stuff. There's a book that's called The Lost Pages of Islam, Volume 1. I think somebody talked about it a long time ago, but the point is, though, the book details how Arabized Christians, so-called Jews, and Romans, aka the pre-Jesuits, so this is around the 600s, 700s, 800s, these people came together, wrote the Bible, got it all squared away, and then said, hey, over the Middle Ages, we're going to encode these language systems like the Gematria. And they also tapped in when the Jesuits came into the picture later in the 1500s, and you see a lot of these stories coming from people like the Arch-Jesuit Joseph Scaliger and others. And it ties into what you mentioned about the Black folks here, because this was all created due to a conflict between so-called Black people and these other groups and whatnot, especially on a religious socioeconomic line. And it goes all the way back to some of the Aboriginal stuff in America. I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but there's a lot of documentation for this. And that's why I think I was in the chat saying you should check out an individual named Aboriginal Global Media on YouTube, because this individual has some very interesting facts that I think you would find validating to your position on how Black people are targeted, how the information is coded in a certain way, how we're talked about in a certain way, the media perception, all that stuff. So I just wanted to lay that out there. And yeah, I've been waiting a while to get on, so I'm a little out of breath. My apologies.
Okay, I got his channel up here, though. I gave him a sub. I'll check him out. So, is he a musician as well?
Yeah, definitely check out. Yeah. Check out his his genealogy and documentary series, because I think you'll find that interesting. As well, he has some books that will be of interest to you as well. But to speak on the pre-Adamite piece that I was going to lead into, these people were called the Amaru, and you're seeing a lot of shills and whatnot, like Archaics and many others. I'll name names. I don't know if you're comfortable with that, but these individuals are now taking some of this information and flipping it to some kind of weird white supremacist stuff or Christian nationalists. And I think it ties into your disdain for the Jesus stuff, because this stuff, this dogma, holds people back from looking at different data points and sources from across the world and different cultures. And I think it's a part of a greater push to kind of get in front of this indigenous movement, because this thing has been building in the Black community since 1999, since the Empress, which is over the Washita Moor Nation, started her thing with the help of the individual that I recommended to you, that channel. And so I think you'd be interested in that information. I don't want to say too much and clog up the airwaves.
Well, I don't mind, but I do appreciate the recommendation. I'll check out the channel and appreciate the call.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Peace.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Let's go out to Minnesota, 612.
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Yeah, so I'm just watching your show and stuff. So there's some things I kind of wanted to say. So, like you brought up the Super Bowl earlier. So like that's the first one I mentioned. So, I bet money on that, and, I won money off of it because it was so obvious they're going to win. And, I think probably the biggest factor that told me they're going to win, other than the very obvious Taylor Swift ritual thing, I think the whole Taylor Swift thing alone was like the giveaway right there. But also it was just like that game this year and then last year has had the same date numerology and like all paths. And then how like last year, it was like Mahomes versus a rookie quarterback, like Jalen Hurts, and then Hurts just couldn't cut it. Well, this year was kind of literally the same scenario. It was Mahomes versus rookie quarterback. Then, you know, they're the ESPN and them were trying to hype up Brock Purdy, saying, oh, he got a chance, you know, he's got the best defense or whatever. And then again, couldn't cut it. Literally repeated last year, kind of like the Dayton Raji was literally the same thing. So it's kind of saying this is going to be a repeat of last year. So I kind of thought that was like, all right, everything's pointing to the Chiefs. So I just put like $100 some bucks on it, and then I won like $400 some. So like it was good. Did you agree with that? Like with my analysis of that game?
Yeah, I think those were a lot of pieces to the puzzle. Nicely done.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thanks. Yeah, and also, so that Joey guy who was calling in earlier, honestly, Zach, I think the guy was honestly a long time troll, because it's like you've called him out so many times, and yet he keeps saying the most retarded decodes. So it's like,
and it's either that or like, because like he'll call me up and like he'll call me in my personal life and be like, Zach, I want a girlfriend, but I also want to live at my mom's house. So what should I do? And I'm like, well, it'd probably help if you didn't live at your mom's house since you're in your 30s. He's like, yeah, but I don't want to get a job. And I'm just like, is this a fucking real? So yeah, I mean, he might have been a troll this whole time, because it really. And like literally, he'll just call me late at night with just like the dumbest local stories. I'm like, why do you think I care about your local news, dude? I mean, come on.
Yeah. I remember you saying that earlier, and I was like, okay. I mean, I've only heard about this Joey guy like recently, because I haven't really kind of been paying attention. But yeah, I've noticed him more, and I'm just like, this guy, I think he's trolling. And then it's like tonight when you called him out in his face, that's when he wanted to come back at you. And so I think he was just waiting for you to say some shit to him until you actually like, and then he would you know lash out at you. But yeah. Anyways, fuck that guy. But also, so I was kind of just playing around on the Gematriator, and so earlier in your stream earlier today, you know, you were talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and how they say that the meaning of life is 42. So then that kind of got me thinking. I was like, all right, meaning of life is 42. We all know Hollywood makes these movies, and they put this Gematria in the movie. So I was like, all right, what 42 word would make sense to be the meaning of life? And so I was just kind of thinking, and I typed in the word nothing, because, you know, I mean, a lot of people think that life is kind of meaningless, and that life is just what you make it, which that's kind of how I feel about life. It's like life doesn't really have a grand meaning. It's just kind of like life is what you make it. But I typed in nothing, and that's a 42 word. And then, you know, because from there, I was thinking, let me type in the N word. So I typed in the word nigger, which also I'm black, so I can say that word. So I typed in, I typed in that word, and the word nothing and nigger is 42, 102, and 30 overlap. Like 3 out of 4 is an overlap. So I'm like, maybe that's why they came up with that word for us, because they're like saying, oh yeah, those people, they ain't nothing. Yeah, it's like they ain't worth nothing. They're worthless people. They're nothing to us. So they came up with that N word to just call us that we're not even people. We're nothing. So that could be a reason why they came up with that.
That's interesting. I never thought about that before, but yeah, I see. Yeah, because you're trying to demean the person. You're trying to make them less. Nothing is definitely less. Okay.
Yeah, I found it out today, and I was like, that's crazy. 3 out of the 4. There's gotta be a reason for that. So yeah. And so I know 44 and black people also have a tie to it, right? Like 44 is a pretty important number with black people, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny thing is, so, you know, I typed in black people. So like during the call, you were talking about something earlier. And so I typed in 44. And so, I typed in black people, and that was 44. I typed in black person, that was 44. And the funny thing is, I even typed in black ass niggas, and that was 44. And I'm like, okay, come on, man. Like, why is there so much 44 tied with everything with black something with us? Maybe that's why there's because 44 is, you know, the same as kill. So I'm like, maybe that's why there's so much killing and we're either getting killed by cops or we're killing each other in the hood and stuff, because we have so much 44 tied to words that are associated with us. So
Sure.
maybe they're just
and
doing
then
that.
the N word with the A ending is 38, like death, murder, killing, and RIP. And I've made the same point that if the language has an energy to it, and these numbers do pertain to death, and again, it could be manifesting more death within Black communities. Absolutely. So yeah, very,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
I'll look more into the nothing thing and think more about that and where the origins of that word is, because that is funny how it has the overlap. Slavery and the N word have that overlap, and so does nothing. Interesting. All right,
Yeah,
caller.
I
Well,
got it. Like that's really something I thought about. Hey, I have one more thing to say. So I know you hate like the flat earth people, and I'm not a flat earther, but here, like just one thing to just kind of debunk it all is just literally, flat earthers, listen to me. If literally if the earth was actually flat, then why would Google and Kevin Durant and other celebrities, like back in like what year is that, like 2017 or 2018? I can't remember when it was, but there was a time where they were like kind of pushing that heavy, making that whole conspiracy kind of mainstream. And so they had it like Google was pushing it, Kevin Durant was pushing it, and some other people. So I'm like, all right, the mainstream's pushing it. Do you guys think that they're just pushing it just to make people like actual conspiracy look stupid? Like there's the answer right there. Why if it was true, why would Google push that? Why would celebrities start talking about it?
I was making that point at the exact time when that was going on with Kyrie Irving, and part of the reason they chose him is because Washington Irving is also connected to the false history of supposedly when the world stopped believing the earth is flat, which he makes it seem like it's more modern, like in the time of Columbus, which isn't true. It goes way back to the Greeks. But it's not an accident that they chose Kyrie Irving for the psyop. But yeah, exactly. I mean, Obama said we don't have time for the flat Earth. I mean, there was a time when it was just everywhere and viral, and that's why everyone was fighting over it. And I was like, I can't believe people can't see what a psyop this is.
Yeah, it's a major psyop, and so like and then even so I'm like recently, so you know how Kevin Durant got in trouble because he was talking about watching that Amazon documentary with the Hebrews to Negroes thing. So I watched a little bit of it, and even just the whole concept of the whole Black people are like their identity was stolen, and how they're like the true Hebrews. Honestly, Zach, even though I hadn't looked into much into it, just that concept alone kind of sounds like something that they would do, that the Jesuits and the elites back then would have done, is stolen our identity and then push us down, because they knew, I guess, the Black people's potential and didn't want them to reach that, and so they kind of stole that identity, gave them to the Jews in Israel, and so now that Kevin Durant is saying that, Kevin Durant is probably saying the truth now, but because he's tied to that flat Earth shit, people will think, there goes Kevin Durant again, saying his crazy conspiracy theory stuff because he believes in flat Earth. But see, now that it's kind of like the boy will cry wolf. It's kind of like he cried wolf, but he was saying some bullshit before. But now that
exactly,
true, people won't.
That's the exact point I was making. And it's just like articles started getting written around the time of 2015. There's like, people on the internet need to be shut up because they're questioning now the shape of the earth and 9/11, and it's like, oh, see, now flat earth and questioning 9/11 are in the same sentence. Unbelievable. So
yeah. So like, I see what they're doing with these psyops, and I'm like, how are people just not seeing that they're kind of playing us and kind of baiting people into
Exactly. These are the exact points I've been making for a decade now. And the other thing is all your favorite flat earth channels, like literally every single one has attacked my work, and it's like, okay, now look, it's been a decade. What's flat earth done for the world? Something that went viral and everybody's...
It's done nothing.
Absolutely nothing, just like I said it would.
Nothing.
Imagine had my work gone viral like flat earth did. We'd probably have ended the cabal by now, so...
Yeah, so I've never really watched a flat Earth channel before, but the whole sun rising and setting, how do they view that? Because are they saying that the sun just goes under the flat Earth, or does it just rotate around the coaster. Like, because either way,
exactly.
Like,
they literally think that the sun goes around the flat Earth, and they don't realize that means it would set in the north, south, east, west, depending on where you are in the world. And then you point out to them, they're like, "I don't care. What, you believe the NASA ball globe tour?" It's just like, you can't even talk to these people.
So
I got to get more callers in here before the end of the show. I can't go down the flat Earth road again tonight. I'm trying to detox.
Okay, all right. I just think you go on these flat Earth rants, which honestly, Zach, your flat Earth rants are so fucking hilarious. So I'm not one of your haters like, oh, Zach's being so mean. He should be talking
about like, not to everybody. I lost a ton of support this weekend. I lost over 100 supporters, which hurt. But anyway. I appreciate it, man, because I still can't stand the flat Earth. So, and I'm not going to apologize to bring those people back.
Either. So when you go on the rants, I'm kind of on your side. I'm like, yeah, these people are retarded. Like, how could you possibly think such a thing?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, truly, it's because they're not thinking. All right, 612. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, talk to you later, man.
Yeah, take care. From Minnesota to Kansas City, it's Super Bowl 4. Oh, what's up, Kansas City?
Yeah, what's up, Zach?
How you doing?
Yeah, there's been, I want to ask you a question about like I guess, how to put this, like aliens. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff with like aliens in the media I've been seeing recently, just like it's really like ramped up when it comes to aliens and stuff like that, UFO sightings. You think there could be something to that? Because I hear a lot of people saying they might try to do like a Project Blue Beam. That might be how they try to, I don't know, maybe bring stuff into chaos, possibly.
Well, if there's ever a time they want to bring people back together, the alien psyop might just do it. I've said before that I think it could still be a ways off, and in the year that I think that they might really escalate the alien agenda, I still think it's in the future. I think it'll be the year 2041. And the reason I say that year is because the word alien equals 41 forwards and it equals 94 in reverse, and 2041 will be 94 years after 1947 when they really got the alien ball rolling in the 47th state, New Mexico, after it jumped off on the 47th parallel in Seattle where the Space Needle is. Not to mention Seattle, Washington equals 94. But yeah, I think it's I think they're gonna build to it. There'll be more stories like the one we got at the start of the year with the creatures at the Miami Mall. But I think 2041, I think that's the year that the alien agenda goes to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I actually do think there possibly could be aliens like in like a real sense, because I just don't see how, when I look at all the stuff these elites do and whatnot, I just feel like there has to be, I feel like they have connection possibly to some outside force. I know a lot of people say like Satan. I mean, possibly Satan could be some extraterrestrial entity of some sort. I just feel like when you look at all the things they do and whatnot and the technology they have, it just seems like it could be from possibly aliens. It could be
let me just say this. I don't disagree. I've made the same point that the whole idea of the Anunnaki, that they came here and created a slave race, to me it makes sense, and also technology too, because the technology we have seems beyond human. I don't even know how anyone came up with this stuff, and how it just continues to advance rapidly, and how much influence technology has over humanity. So I'm open to the idea, but I don't think it's like how they presented us, little green men. I think it would be like they live, like they look just like us. We're modeled after them. It's just like they might be a superior model of entity, whereas we're like a lesser form and just too dumb to see the forest for the trees as most people are. So again, Ronnie Piper, he said They Live was a documentary, and he published that Twitter post on the big special Jesuit day, and then he died in a big Jesuit ritual. So,
wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, Roddy Piper, he tweeted on September 27th, the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by Rome, that They Live is a documentary. If you've never seen They Live, it's about aliens in a human vessel right here amongst us, and you can only see them if you got the special glasses. And then Roddy Piper ended up dying on the anniversary of Ignatius Loyola's death. Not to mention They Live came out 201 days after his birthday, And right at the beginning of that movie, it starts with a mural of a giant vaccine on Los Angeles underpass. And the other thing about that movie is, in the movie, part of the dialogue is that the aliens intend to have full control over humanity by 2025. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've never seen They Live. I'm kind of young. I'm guessing that came out, I don't know.
1988. Yeah, it came
out
before you were born, but it's kind of a corny movie, but at the same time, it's got an interesting premise. So maybe check out They Live.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out because I mess around with Gematria. I like to do decodes, like breakdown movies. So I might try to do a decode on it because I like to do stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely believe there's something with aliens possibly going on. For your books, right? You have like the ebooks that you can buy. Is there a way I can get like paper copies of them? Like
Number games you can get in paper form. I mean, Amazon sells it. Most online book retailers sell number games. The only way to get letters and numbers in book form, you have to send the ebook version to a website called Lulu, LULU.com, and they'll print it. But it's gotten pretty expensive to do that because the book's up. Actually, you know what? Hold up. I just saw. I think it's Anne who's doing it. Anne has made smaller versions of my first book. I gave her the permission to do this, and I actually saw that it's on here. If you search my name, so it's under my name, but this money's going to somebody else, and I'm not mad about it because I appreciate that she's helped getting the word out there. So she made smaller versions of the first chapters of my book, and you can actually get those in paper form on Amazon. So just understand, I don't get any proceeds from that, but I also don't really care. At this point, I'd just rather the book be out there and people are passing around the knowledge and information. So thank you, Anne, wherever you are, for doing that. This book, if you buy number games, I do get the proceeds from that. I don't get a whole lot, and I'm not even sure they actually pay me for it. But I just noticed this the other day that this is up. She told me she was going to do that, and there it is. So, and the first 10 chapters of that book is not a whole lot, because the whole book is 800 pages. I think the first 10 chapters are probably about 150 pages total, and it's really just like the introductory stuff to Gematria, so it's good for a beginner.
Okay, good, because I want to get those books and read them just to, I've been looking in Gematria for a long time, but I want to really get deeper into it, so I definitely want to buy those books. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I like to read paper copies more, so I'm gonna try to get paper copies of both of them because I just prefer to read on
she's got the first 10 chapters in 2 different versions of the book, and it looks like she's got the one version that's chapters 1 through 3 priced at $3.90, and the one that's chapters 4 through 10, which is a little bit more pages, priced at $5.60. And actually, when you put something on Amazon, they control the pricing, so that's what Amazon's got it at. But you can get the paper copy of the first 10 chapters of my first book. It's there.
Great. One last thing before I get off, because I don't want to hold the line too long. For the flat earthers, the last caller, he was talking about how do they explain the sun going down. I mean, these flat earthers are fucking stupid, but he was saying how they explain the sun going down. I've heard one flat earther channel say that the sun goes through portals or some shit. I don't know how that works, but I guess they're saying the sun goes through portals. That's how it gets around the earth, even though it's flat. It's some dumb shit. I don't.
The flat earthers have said literally everything. They got everything but a correct model. I still remember when the video had over 5 million views. Somebody took a picture out their plane window and they thought that the sun was below the wing of the plane, and everyone was like, look at that, the sun is low. I was just like, oh my God, man. These people. So
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
All right.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Yeah, you have a good night. Take care.
Yep, you too.
All right, let's go out to Philadelphia, 215.
Hey, Jack, what's going on?
How you doing?
Good. I got a song for your Wake the Fuck Up radio.
Okay.
It's by Korn called Wake Up. The guy just screams, wake the fuck up, wake the fuck up.
The problem with playing corn is their music's copyrighted, right? So that might get the radio program in trouble.
Don't do it now, but just check it out.
It's funny. When I think of corn, I think of being in middle school and everybody in jean coat jeans with their corn t-shirts. So.
Well, you're a little bit younger than me.
Okay.
But I like this genre of music. I'm like an old head that likes the younger stuff. Anyway.
All right, man.
All right, dude.
Appreciate the idea. Appreciate the idea. All right. Yeah. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right. Take care. All right. Just to let you guys know where you are, I want to say thank you. We did a lot better than we've done in recent weeks. We've been averaging about $20 raised per show. Tonight, we have raised $282. I counted up the Cash App, the PayPal, the Venmo, and the Super Chats here. We combined for $282. So that's the vast majority of the program for, again, if you buy it for an annual thing, it's $480 to run this radio program. I'm going to do the trial thing to make sure it does work before we invest the funds. But we covered over half of it tonight. And if we don't get any more donations, I still do want to get the radio show going, so I can cover the rest. I'm having a financial nightmare in my own personal life, and it's because Sweet Lady and I did a decision, and the people that we did the decision with weren't honest with us, and there was a ticking time bomb in the deal that they didn't tell us about. And it started off as a small nightmare, and then it got to a bigger nightmare, and it's grown into this crazy nightmare, and I'm just like, God, dishonest people, man. It's just like, people that's, Anyway, we'll get through it, but it's just sad that people can be so dishonest, man. It's just, I'll tell the story about what we're going through later, but that's also part of the reason I've just been angry and ranting too, because I'm dealing with that also in my personal life. And anyway, it's making funds a little bit tight around here, but maybe people watch this stream later if you guys want to chip in. Again, yours truly does do a lot for the community, puts a lot back in. If you guys want to help, pay for the platform for the radio show, I'll do all the work, and we'll get out even more information in the year ahead. Because honestly, I gotta admit, the one thing is, I feel like if I had better video editing skills, it would help me in my cause a lot. People like that eye candy. I don't have the patience to learn it, and each day I'm on the grind. I'm keeping up with the stories, I'm getting out the information. Someday when we have enough support, I'll hire a full-time, producer and video editor, if that day ever comes. But the one thing we can do more is just get the information out in more places, like a podcast that goes out to all platforms. Maybe that'll do wonders for us this year. I've been saying for the last 2 years I'm going to get the podcast going, and 2 years have gone by. So it's time to get it going. And again, thank you to everyone who did donate tonight. We're over halfway to the goal, and I appreciate that. So, for the TFR audience, again, we do also stream this on YouTube, and I apologize that the last couple weeks I've been broadcasting through the commercials, but understand none of the sound is working on my end, and it's hard to keep up with the breaks. And for the people who are watching on YouTube, they appreciate just going through the breaks, because then there's more show and less downtime. But Chris Geo, if you're out there, man, and just something's got you down in the dumps and you just don't even care about the network right now, man, I'm hoping you find whatever it takes to come back and give this thing a little tune-up. I miss the days of TFR, the nice audio intros, everything sounded nice and clean and professional. It's, it's good for everybody, so... And hopefully Chris Geo is out there somewhere. Maybe aliens are real. Maybe Chris Geo got abducted. I can't even explain these things. How does the man who runs the network just vanish? And he's not doing his own show either. So, and again, if anybody goes back and listens to his last broadcast, he said he'd be back in a week. So, it's been over 5 months now. Yeah, all right, that's it. So thank you, TFR audience. We'll be back next Wednesday, and hope everyone has a great evening. Till next time. All right, so the TFR part is over, and usually DK's just waiting for the end of the show to call in. And the nice thing is, once we get this radio network working, assuming that it does work as advertised, it's supposed to give us a call board, right? Like I have a call board on Wednesday nights on TFR. It's the only day of the week I have a call board. But I think it'll be cool to, like, even when I start, I'll still be doing YouTube live streams. We can use it for the YouTube live streams too, rather than have people call my cell phone. We can have them call the call board. So you call in, you're not having to compete with, like, can I get through, or is it on hold, or is it already busy? Somebody else on? Just be a call board so people should be able to call in, get in line. And also, it also helps me see who's calling in. So it's like the trolls can't clog up the line. If we have routine terrible callers, it can be like, okay, I need to write down that number and not take their call anymore. And okay, and Joey, again, I'll give Joey credit for having thick skin because but Joey's got a live stream tonight on N201 if you want to check it out. He's going to start it as soon as this stream ends, and I'm sure it's going to have some killer decodes. But hold on, we do have a DK Stonewood sighting. What's up, DK?
Dang, I didn't want to call you right there because I wanted to hear what you were saying about the having the new show, so I missed that last 15, 20 seconds.
Well, I'm going to start a new show. That'll be a podcast where I take some calls. Hopefully we get better callers. So.
No, that part I heard. I was just this last part where you were saying you would have a call board and you would use your regular shows that you do on YouTube. You would be using the same call board, and then I hit call, so I didn't hear what you said after that.
That's pretty much the extent of it.
I think it would be great. So you're going to do basically like a I heard you say you want to put some other presenters on there, like you mentioned RPM Trey. So it's going to be like Mark Passio's One Great Work Network. Not to relate you to Mark Passio, but I'm just saying kind of like something like that.
Well, he has a website, and he allows the people that he chooses to post on his website. It's not going to be like that, but it's going to be like a podcast with a call-in line where there's an actual call board rather than competing to see if you can get through on my cell phone.
Oh yeah, that would be way better. My understanding was Mark Passio actually had like a podcast show that he doesn't even necessarily do his show on. Actually, he does his show on that too, which I've never listened to, but that's where he's got 75 people now, or where he always, his monologue, he's always like, we have this many great presenters on One Great Work Network already and always looking for more. So,
but he's not really. He always ignores me. It's like, man, why can't I be on your network?
Oh, yeah, and my comment on that is Mark Passio's show is a show. It's just like, a show on TV. It's all prearranged. The callers are prearranged. He might let one or two, random callers in. And
he goes to the same damn caller whenever he takes calls. He's always like, let's go out to Ivan. And it's like, God, this is such a joke to keep going to this same. He's talking about how dumb humanity is, and then Ivan literally sounds like he's retarded. It's like, this is unbelievable.
I always thought Old Man George was the Ivan of this show. When I was first listening, I'm like, this is like Ivan from Phoenix and George.
Well, George hasn't called in for a while, but George just was always first in line, and it's just I go through the order. It's just that's why I'm like, can I get some other callers here?
How funny. Yeah, if you need anybody to fill a slot, I'd be barring the time slot would be available for me. I would be willing to step up for that. I'm not at home, so I don't have any notes with me, but I just remembered a few things that maybe a couple things that I heard tonight. I only heard maybe about an hour of the show. I came in at about 8 o'clock, and then I just rewound to the beginning and was listening at 2x, so I caught a little bit of it. A couple things I forgot to mention, like maybe last week or the week before, which was while you were in your hiatus, I talked a little about the the NBA All-Star Weekend, but I forgot to mention, which this is probably the only thing that would really even actually matter as far as your work. So they scored like 100 points in the first half, and all the commentators were talking about, like, when the second half started, is like, are we going to break 200? Are we going to break 200? And then I was telling my dad and my aunt, they're watching while I was over the house over there, and I was like, I guarantee they're going to score either 201 or 211. Guaranteed. I don't know what the other team's going to score, but the winning team's probably going to have 201 or 211. They ended up getting 211, which is the opposite of 112. And I can't remember if they had like 186 or something, the other team, but they, they were, again, it had to hit a ritual number. And all they've been talking about lately when I'm at the gym and Sports Center's on is a player this season going to score 100 in a game, or is a team going to get 200 during the regular season? So I've heard that repeated quite a few times already. I think they're probably forecasting that somebody's going to do that. What else? I haven't looked at the news, like just the general world news.
I think you cut out. Are you there?
To pay attention about these fires and shit. So I don't really have any comments on that yet. This Bushnell thing, though, you know what Bushnell is as a company, right?
Somebody left a comment that they are a company. I need to look into that.
Yeah, they make the main thing you would know them for is optics, for like your rifles and stuff.
Okay.
But it's like an outdoor company that they would sell at like any store that has guns would carry like Bushnell optics. But they also sell other outdoor stuff. I'm trying to think of another company that's kind of like them. Maybe like North Face, but that's not a good comparison. But yeah, so I feel like maybe, Bushnell, first time I heard that right away, I thought of guns and optics. So I don't know how that fits into the story of the guy burning himself, just like the burning bush. That kind of off the top makes more sense to me. But if it has anything to do with, Second Amendment or gun rights or them killing people over there, then probably you can relate that to the fact that it's it's an outfit that sells gun parts.
Interesting.
Yeah. What else? God, now I can't remember because I hopped in the car and I'm driving. So when are you going to start this the show where you're going to start doing a show every day, and what time is it going to be and how long?
That's what I have to figure out what time I can consistently do it every day, and I'm thinking about getting up earlier and doing it first thing to start the day. So
like before 8 a.m. Pacific time?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe around 7 a.m. Pacific. I got to make sure I can do it consistently. Like I know next week I have to be somewhere at 7 a.m., so I might wait a week to start it yet. But I think I'm going to do a trial run because this thing that I'm planning on buying, it says you can do a trial. I want to make sure it works before I buy it. So.
How long are you planning to do these shows for? Not like a 3-hour one every day, right?
No, like an hour every day, maybe a little bit longer than an hour.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I think that'll be good. That way people can get they don't have to wait around all week to listen to TFR if they want to call in for something and whatever. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
I definitely support all that, and I hope it does well. And like, I just make a comment on all you. I just kind of went back and listened to those shows where you were calling out all these trolls that you got basically following you around since probably day one. Who knows? I mean, definitely from before I got there, because when I was first listening to your show, I was like, what in the hell is going on here? This is a show of mostly trolls. So, yeah, I mean, like guys like, like Owen Benjamin, I knew about him before I, came across your work, but I mean, he's just like, what his real audience is probably infinitesimal, whatever they're pushing. I don't even know if he has his own channel or whatever it is, but all those numbers and the donations are all fraudulent numbers. Nobody's donating to this crap. Some of those other guys you mentioned, I've never even heard of before you mentioned them, like the Adam Green guy and some of those other guys. Like, I mean, I never even
Well, when Adam Green came on the scene, I mean, I just got annoyed because, like, how does this, like, overnight, like, he's got David Icke on, Alex Jones, InfoWars is having him on, just, I forget the names of other people that were pretty prominent at the time, where, like, I was just like, and then he's, like, boasting about how he's related to the Mannings. I was like, see, this is all some kind of controlled network. It's like, that's the only way you get in this thing. You got to be in some kind of network, and I'm definitely not in it.
Oh yeah, and you got a little network that they got around you, and it doesn't even mean that all of them are like connected to each other individually, but there's just like, you know, there could be one handler for them all, or a few handlers that are just, you know, keeping this troll network around you and have basically surrounded you with a ton of fake followers and supporters that, you know, end up, you know, basically getting activated like sleeper cells one after another. And, you know, as has happened, which, you know, unfortunately I was right about that. Not that I wanted to be, but this, you know, that is kind of proven to be true. And I'm sure there's probably a few more. I don't think, you know, it's done by any means. And also the thing that I said a long time ago about them, you know, supporting you financially, and then, like, you know, when the going gets tough, like, try to pull the rug out from under you, which very possibly could be going on right now too. Who knows, you know?
Yeah, so it seems. So it seems.
Yeah, they're just trying to chip away at you little by little, and then, like, you know, once they feel like they get you in a vulnerable spot, then, like, you know, pull the rug out completely. So, but I mean, you know, obviously the message is still as legit as it's been, and, you know, getting better as you're, you know, picking out more, you know, more things other than just the numbers, and you know, kind of connecting all the dots. You know, when I was first listening, I feel like there was, you know, I mean, the only reason that I caught on because I was like, well, wait a minute, this guy's actually using Gematria for real, because all the other ones that I found before you were bullshit. You know, like, I called out a few of these guys that I knew that I came across their work before yours, which is weird. That should show you the algorithms. I thought I knew, like, everyone who was out there, you know, but I like guys like Logan, and can't even think of the other names right now. I called out, like, probably a couple of years even before I found your work. So when people, you know, when I was told about yours, Gematria, I'm like, oh, it's probably another one of these lames. Then I started listening. I'm like, oh no, this guy's actually got it. This guy's dialed in, and he's connecting other things that are, you know, not necessarily the Gematria, and connecting all the dots for people who don't know about this stuff. And it, you know, he's on point. So, you know, and it's only gotten, you know, better, I think, since, you know, I mean, obviously you've been doing stuff like 8 years before I found you, but in the last, year and a half, too, that I've been around, you've gotten better as well. So the work, though, it's not the work, it's definitely what's going on around the work that's, you know, hurting it, if anything. You know, it's definitely not the work itself, because it's improved and it's still as solid as it's been.
Well, I appreciate it. We're always trying to make it better over here. That's the goal.
Yeah, and, you know, if I can add anything to it, that will be my contribution, and I'll be, you know, happy that it helps if it does.
All right, yeah. There'll be plenty of opportunities to call in on the new radio program, so it's coming soon.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'll be waiting for that.
All right.
Hopefully everything else goes well.
All right, DK. Appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Yeah, take care. Take care.
Okay, bye.
All right, let me say thank you to the people who donated tonight. Paula the Kitchen Witch, as always, thank you. Paula the Kitchen Witch ×2. Ryan, thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you, 164. Appreciate that. Thank you again. Congrats to the winners. Thank you, Fabian Livingston. He's all in for the podcast. Appreciate that. And thank you, Leslie Margarita up in Canada ×2. Thank you. And 13 Serpents again. Mr. Generosity says, Billy Carson reminds me of that blank sucker Brian Rose. Yeah, Brian Rose with David Icke doing the... Yeah, their podcast or their broadcast during the pandemic when Brian Rose comes from the world of banking, and it was like the big banker takeover. And he says, duped everyone to fill his pockets in the name of truth. Do you think that hidden hand 4 digits and his timepiece aren't conveying something? Look at that pic. Let's go back and look again. I did notice the 4 fingers, and I was like, I wonder what that means. I mean, I don't know enough about him to why he's doing that. Did he have the hidden hand in that going? Well, he does have his hand in his pocket. It's true, his hand is in his pocket. It's not exactly the hidden hand pose. It's supposed to be tucked up in your vest over your heart. But you're right, one hand is tucked away while the 4 is out there. I don't know enough about his work to know exactly what he means by that. But, yeah, that is interesting. All right. Yeah. Thank you again, 13 Serpents. D2689 chipped in 4 as well. Thank you so much. Very generous. I appreciate that. And then, problem when you read out Cash Apps, I got to not read out people's last names. But, shout out to John Mendoza. We know his name. I'll say his full name because it's always in the chat. Thank you very much, John. Thank you, David. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Vanessa. Shout out to Vanessa. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Frank the Truth Tank, Eminique, Quentin, Stefan, Jimmy, Hayden, Stefan again, ×2. Thank you. Brian Patterson, and Rob's cat is awake and asleep. I can say their full name because that's funny. Must be an inside joke. So I appreciate that. And it was, thank you, Jim, Daniel, Nicholas. Appreciate that. And shout out to Susan. Thank you very much, Susan. And how do I see the other ones? Thank you very much, Ian and Keith. Ian, Keith, and Susan. Thank you very much. And I think that's it. So yeah, thank you. I mean, I appreciate it, you guys. Somebody just chipped in with 13 Serpents donation and John Mendoza's. That brought us up to, we were at 282. ND 24. 49 is pretty much 50. So we're up to 332 for the night, or 331 actually. All right, that's great though. That's a lot better than what we've been doing, and that does cover the vast majority of the cost of this thing. And yeah, I'll do a trial run on the podcast real soon. Again, there's a number of things that I'm super busy right now because I'm like always, I'm trying to keep up with everything, and then I'm dealing with this nightmare behind the scenes right now, and hopefully we reach a resolution on that before long. And yeah, we'll do the trial run in the days ahead to make sure that this program and application works. And if it does, we'll purchase it and we'll start doing the daily podcast, and we'll try not to miss days. We'll try to go Monday through Friday. I'll still be doing the YouTube too. It's just, I want to get out on more platforms because we're not growing our audience on YouTube. The algorithm's keeping us pretty clamped down. I know some people come through and say, hey, I'm new here. That's great. Hey, thank you. I guess we are reaching some new people, but we're not reaching very many new people. It's rare we ever get a comment like that. So, all right, you guys, have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see what tomorrow brings us. Till next time.